statements have been recorded because the police's major concern or primary concern at the moment is Mihir Shah and what exactly unfolded that night. Of course, they had the custody, they had the father with them for a while before he was bailed out by the court. They also have the custody of the driver, whose police custody was extended by a couple of days by the Shivdi Metropolitan Magistrate, and now he'll also be interrogated on the same manner. But the primary accused, that is Mihir Shah, his questioning is of primary importance for them. From what we know, the kind of statements that he's been giving to the police, he's been trying to beat around the bush. The police is trying their best to establish the fact that he was driving the car, because remember, this is not, although we've been talking about pubs being sealed, we're talking about drink and drive. This case, the alcohol part of it, the drink and drive part of it is still secondary. The major part of this entire case is hit and run. So the punishment for the latter is much more serious than the first one, which is why the police will try their level best in making it apparent in their report, which will be presented before the court today afternoon, that there was a direct involvement of Mihir Shah when he was driving the case. Because when Mihir Shah, on that particular evening, when he was driving from Borivali to Marine Drive, for a majority of the time his driver was on the car, and when the CCTV came out, it was apparent in the CCTV that he was driving the car when the car had actually hit the woman, which means that he had taken over the driver's seat just moments before the woman was hit. So this entire confusion will need to be sorted out. The police will completely bank on the fact that he was driving the car for a majority of the area when, of course, the woman was hit, whereas the defense might try and put up the case of the driver being the person who was driving the car. We also saw that one of the reasons why the father was arrested by the police was the fact that there was some sort of manipulation that was being tried to do by the family, where they tried to put the blame. A similar pattern to what happened in Pune Porsche case was seen here as well. The driver was put the blame on, but CCTV footage showed that the change of position in the driving seats have taken place, and Mihir Shah, who was under the influence of alcohol, according to the police, was driving the car at that very moment. Another point, of course, of this is the presence of alcohol. Now, the arrest has been made after 72 to 75 hours. This is an important part because they wouldn't be able to directly establish the fact that he was under the influence of alcohol when the accident took place. So they'll have to rely hugely on the eyewitnesses, who've also confirmed, by the way, that he was the one indeed on the driving seat as well. So the police will be looking at that eyewitness account. They'll be looking at the CCTV footage account to make sure that the case is stronger than before.
Anuj, thanks so much as always for joining us with the latest update. Do stay on with us. Let's get a quick update from Sujata as well, who joins us live from outside Arthur Road Jail. Sujata, we've established that the Mumbai police has succeeded in hunting down Mihir Shah. He's the son of a Shiv Sena politician, but it took them 2 days of painstaking probe. And finally, it's his friend who led them to Mihir Shah. But according to police officials, Mihir was traced in Virar after they received information regarding his location.
Well, certainly, and we see that after the entire incident unfolded there at the Worli Drive, after which Mihir was on a run, and it is being said that he first went to Goregaon, where his friend resided, after which it was his sister who picked him up from there and took him to their Borivali residence, and from where the mother, 2 sisters and Mihir, they flew to a resort where they were residing for a few days, and after which it was his friend who too joined them, and after tracing his contact number, the police were able to trace him in Virar, in a hotel near the Virar Fata, and after which he was brought back yesterday. However, he was not taken to the Worli police station. He was directly brought here at the Arthur Road Jail, where I am currently present, and also Mihir has been kept here, and within some time from now he'll be taken for a medical examination either at the Nair Hospital or the GT Hospital, which will be confirmed in some time from now, and after which he'll be then presented in the court for seeking further custody to interrogate the matter further. Now, what we've been given to understand is that there are questions being raised by the victim's family as well, and they are seeking the addition of section 302, which amounts to murder, for the accused here, Mihir Shah, stating that it was not just a hit and run case, but the woman, 45-year-old fisherwoman Kaveri, was dragged for over 1.5 kilometers from the spot where the accident actually happened. So that turns up the police to even find out from the CCTV footages, while they will be able to get it in some time from now, and to understand was it really an intentional dragging that was done by Mihir under the influence of alcohol, or was it just a hit and run? The sections which have already been added in the current FIR. And also for now, what update that we get is that the mother and the sisters of the accused Mihir Shah have been released, while they were also detained from a home in Shahpur. They were brought back to the Worli police station, where the statements were recorded this early morning, and then they were released and they were allowed to go back to their home. So for now, it is only Mihir who is under questioning and Scanner to answer all the questions, and the list of questionnaire that has been prepared by the Worli police station to understand what exactly transpired that morning, that early morning, and also as per the demands of the victim's family, where they are seeking the addition of section 302. However, that will be done once after the accused is presented in the court today, for which it is most likely that police custody will be granted to Mihir for the further unfolding of certain grounds that the police is conducting the investigation on, after which the case will be taken further in a manner to understand was it really a hit and run or an intentional murder which the family is demanding under the influence of alcohol. Was he or was not, is also to be answered by Mihir Shah.
Sujata, thank you so much for taking us through the latest developments and also for taking us through what to expect during the course of the day. But Anuj, so now the police have apprehended Mihir Shah and are probing further to understand the sequence of his hiding locations after he escaped from the accident spot. And we're told a total of 12 people, including Mihir Shah's mother and sisters, were taken into custody.
See, police do have a tentative roadmap as far as the entire unfolding of the event took place after the accident. The police tentative roadmap states that after the car broke down in Kalanagar, the father, before making it to the spot where the accident happened, made sure that Mihir, who was then with his female friend, and then he met his sister in Borivali. So Mihir, along with his 3 family members, was sent in a Mercedes car belonging to his father to Shahpur's resort. And the police found that out by looking at several surveillance cameras, by looking at several CCTV cameras, and they were of course also looking at the CCTV cameras outside the Shah household as well. And there they saw the car moving out of the house, coincidentally just hours after the accident had taken place. And then they followed that car through the help of several other CCTV cameras, and of course also because they knew they had tracked the number down, and that's how they reached Shahpur Resort. When they reached Shahpur Resort yesterday early morning at 4 a.m., there they found that the family was present, but Mihir was absent. And after further interrogation with the family, who stated that they had no idea about the whereabouts of Mihir, they later found out that he had made it to Virar with a friend. And for all this while, the family and Mihir had kept their phone switched off to keep themselves safe from the surveillance of the police, so that police could not track them. But when in Virar, Mihir's friend switched on the phone for only 15 minutes. And because police had already gone through the call records of Mihir and had seen which number he would regularly contact, the friend of Mihir, who had switched his phone off, was also on the radar of the police, which is why his phone was also being kept under surveillance. So the moment he switched on his phone, the police tracked down the location, which was Virar. After that, they looked at several hotels and several restaurants and CCTV footages, and there they found out one hotel where they saw the entry of these 2 people. And as a result of that, in the evening or in the late afternoon yesterday, they reached that resort, from where a call goes to Mihir, who was in the hotel room from the reception, saying that there are some visitors, and the visitors turn out to be Mumbai police. That's how Mihir was caught by the police yesterday. Since then, he's been questioned. Today, of course, the medical examination will take place. The primary result of which will, of course, be presented in the court, and then the proceedings will take further turn in the court, where the police will try to ask for as long a police custody as possible, which in this case would most likely be for 2 days.
Well, thank you so much, Anuj and Sujata, for joining us with the latest details from Mumbai. Meanwhile, in the latest coming in from Nashik, a 36-year-old woman died after she was struck from behind by a speeding car in another hit-and-run case emerging from Maharashtra. The incident took place on Gangapur Road in Nashik, as you can see on your screens. The impact of the accident was so severe that the woman, identified as Vaishali Shinde, was thrown into the air before she crashed on the road about 15-20 meters away. Anuj joins us with an update on this story as well. Anuj, very tragic, another hit-and-run case emerging out of Maharashtra.
Another hit and run case emerging not just from Maharashtra but even from Nashik. If you look at it, this is the third road rampage case and the second hit and run case from Sunday. On Sunday, we saw a similar case unfold in Gangapur Road, in a link road where Gangapur Road, which is a major part of the city, is connected to College Road through a very narrow lane. There, a woman who was out to take some vegetables, a car drove over her, which resulted in her loss of life at that very moment. And of course, the person there, the police investigation in that case is still on. While the city was completely emotional and immersed in the details of that case, yesterday evening another case unfolded close to a famous eatery in Nashik, which is Satna Misir, where this area, the Satna Misir area, is slightly far from the main hush of the city. But there, another woman, Archana Shinde, who's also known as Vaishali Shinde, a middle-aged woman in her late 30s, she was going from her workplace to her house. She used to work in a restaurant close by, and there a speeding vehicle ramped into her. The video footage of it is out, and it chilled everyone, not just the people who were there present, but then the video has been circulated throughout the city for people to take precautions while on the road, while carrying out their day-to-day activities. So these two incidents have shocked the entire city. Earlier today, another tempo in the Sidco area, which is the industrial hub of the city, ramped into 5 to 7 motorcycles, which fortunately did not result in injury or loss of life of any individual, but it damaged 5 to 7 motorcycles. When the people found out that the tempo had hit those vehicles, they stopped the tempo there. They made sure that the tempo was broken, and then they also caught the person who was driving the tempo at that very spot. He was under the influence of alcohol, according to the onlookers. The case which happened yesterday, the police has arrested one of the accused in that case, but an important part of this story is the family of the deceased. The deceased has a specially abled child and a husband who is mostly under the influence of alcohol. So the neighbors and the friends of the deceased are extremely worried about the responsibility of the child of the deceased, who is a specially abled child.
Anuj, as always, thank you so much for bringing all the details of the story to the fore. With that, let's turn our attention now to Unnao, where at least 18 people were killed and 19 others injured after the bus they were travelling in collided with another vehicle in Uttar Pradesh's Unnao earlier today. 3 women and 1 child were among those killed in the accident. The double-decker bus was actually travelling from Bihar's Sitamarhi to Delhi when it rammed the milk tanker from the back. And this accident actually took place on the Lucknow-Agra expressway earlier today. The impact of the collision was so huge that the people were flung out of the vehicle. This is what police and eyewitnesses have said. And visuals from the scene showed bodies on the ground, twisted scraps of metal, shattered glass, and destroyed belongings. Here's what the DM of Unnao had to say, followed by my colleague Ranveer's ground report.
एक प्राइवेट बस का जो मोतिहारी बिहार से चली थी, इसका एक्सीडेंट एक दूध के टैंकर से कुछ किलोमीटर 48 किलोमीटर का जो माइलस्टोन नासिक हाईवे आगरा उस पर एक्सीडेंट हुआ। पीछे से बस की बगल उस दूध पर आवत हुई, जिसमें तक 18 लोगों की मृत्यु की पुष्टि हुई और लगभग 19 पैदा जो CHC से प्राथमिक कराना क्या लग रहा है सर, तेज रफ्तार प्रथम दृश्य जो हमारे पास सूचना आई उसमें यही लग रहा है कि बस तेज रफ्तार में थी और बाकी इलाज के लिए हमारी तैयारी है।
Yes, at 5:15 morning today, a bus coming from Bihar's Sitamarhi rammed into a milk container at Lucknow-Agra Expressway at milestone 247. And this incident claimed 18 lives and more than 20 are injured, and they have been shifted to district hospital Unnao. District magistrate Unnao told NDTV that total 18, including 14 men, 3 women and 1 kid, were killed in this incident, while around 20 are injured in this tragedy. The bus coming from Sitamarhi from Bihar is on the way to Delhi, and it was on the way from Lucknow-Agra Expressway, and it rammed into a milk container from the back and at milestone 247 at Thana Behta Muzawar. So the police station Behta Muzawar, the bus rammed into a milk container and it took 18 lives at 5:15 morning today.
Well, in other crucial news, a 5-judge bench headed by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud is scheduled to hear petitions seeking a review of an October 2023 judgment of the Supreme Court, which refused to legalize same-sex marriage. The Supreme Court on Tuesday did not agree to give an open court hearing on the review petition challenging the top court judgment that refused to legally recognize same-sex and queer marriage. Switching tracks, the Supreme Court, during the hearing on the NEET undergraduate exam row on Monday, acknowledged that the paper was leaked and requested details on the number of beneficiaries and the actions taken against them. The 3-judge bench, led by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud, stated that if the leak took place through electronic means like Telegram and WhatsApp, it would have spread like wildfire. The court has ordered the National Testing Agency for disclosures. The next hearing is actually scheduled for tomorrow, but the CBI status report on the probe is expected to be ready by this evening at 5 p.m. Sunil Prabhu joins us with the latest.
That's right. Today we'll be able to get a first-hand, understanding from the government's affidavit about what exactly it has in mind in terms of the various points and questions that the Supreme Court had asked. One, what was the extent of the amount of leakage? Two, that of course will be get from the CBI report, status report. The second, of course, whether you can use data analysis to look at the pattern and understand how widespread was the leakage, because we've seen a number of students get 720 out of 720, and then of course the other aspect, as they pointed out, what is the time lapse between the leakage as well as the time of the examination, apart from a whole host of other questions which the Chief Justice of India and his bench had asked before they can take a final call whether a re-examination is required, because as the Chief Justice of India said, that's the last option that they have, and they wouldn't want 24 lakh students to be affected. But if the leak has been widespread, then they have no other option but to reconduct an examination.
Well, as always, news and updates continue here on NDTV 24/7. We're sipping into a very quick break for now.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Shiv Sena leader's son from the Eknath Shinde faction, Mihir Shah, has been arrested in the Worli hit-and-run case. Mihir Shah will be produced in court after undergoing a medical examination. After a 2-day Russia trip, the Prime Minister now arrives in Vienna on a 1-day visit. It's the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Austria in 40 years. The top court will hear review pleas on same-sex marriage. A 5-judge bench headed by the Chief Justice of India is expected to hear these review pleas. The pleas seek to legalize same-sex or queer marriage. The Supreme Court says if sanctity is breached, a retest is most appropriate regarding the NEET-UG case. The CBI report is expected by 5 p.m. today. The next hearing is tomorrow. The Supreme Court asks the National Testing Agency for full disclosure.
Get the magic of the best working for you now.
Link your payment cards once, collect rewards forever.
कैसे आप टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करते हुए अपने गैजेट्स का पोटेंशियल और एनहांस कर सकते हो. एंड दिस टाइम इट्स अबाउट एआई. इट्स अबाउट गूगल्स लेटेस्ट जेमिनाई, बिकॉज ये अभी इंडिया में आ चुका है एंड यू शुड यूज दैट बिकॉज इट कैन डू अ लॉट. मतलब अगर आपको ईमेल लिखना है एंड यू नीड सम हेल्प कंपोजिंग दैट ईमेल, यहाँ पे जस्ट बाय यूजिंग द हेल्प मी राइट ऑप्शन आप ईमेल्स जेमिनाई से लिखवा सकते हैं, ये आपकी ईमेल्स को समराइज कर सकता है और आपके लिए बहुत सारे अच्छे तरीके से हेल्प कर सकता है ऑल अक्रॉस सिनेरियोज, ऑल थैंक्स टू द पावर ऑफ एआई। तो जेमिनाई अभी इंडिया में अवेलेबल हो चुका है। वेल, एज ऑफ नाउ
Welcome back. A police complaint has been filed against Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaia's wife Parvati and 2 others in connection with the alleged Mysuru Urban Development Authority scam. Karnataka Chief Minister's wife has actually faced allegations of illegal land purchase and being a beneficiary of a land under scheme worth crores. The Chief Minister has been accused of misusing power and collusion as well. We have a reaction coming in from an activist. Listen in.
2004 ಇಸ್ವಿಲಿ ಏನು ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಬಾಮೈದ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರು ಕ್ರಯ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಭೂಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿವೇಶನ ರಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ರಸ್ತೆ ಒಳಚರಣೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಕೃಷಿ ಭೂಮಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕ್ರಯಪತ್ರನ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಂದಣಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. 2005 ಇಸ್ವಿಲಿ ಅನ್ಯಕ್ರಾಂತ ಆಗಿರೋ ವಿಚಾರನ ಮುಚ್ಚಿಟ್ಟು ಕೃಷಿ ಭೂಮಿ, ವ್ಯವಸಾಯ ಭೂಮಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಾಧೀನ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸುಳ್ಳು ದಾನಪತ್ರ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ಅವರ ಹೆಸರಿಗೆ ನೋಂದಣಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಭೂ ಮಾಲೀಕರು ನಮಗೆ ಪರಿಹಾರ ನೀಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸುಳ್ಳು ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಿ ಮೈಸೂರು ನಗರಾಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಪ್ರಾಧಿಕಾರದಿಂದ ಕೋಟ್ಯಾಂತರ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬೆಲೆ ಬಾಳುವಂತಹ 14 ನಿವೇಶನನ್ನ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯವರ ಕುಟುಂಬದವರು ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Time for another quick break. We're back in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Get ready for the ride of your life. NDTV brings you the NDTV Auto Show with me, Mugdha Mishra. From the fastest supercars to the sleekest new energy vehicles to your trusted daily ride, we cover it all. Every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7. Your next great escape starts here.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
You know that the world's first smartwatch was like 1977 में डेवलप कर लिया था. It was straight from HP. Yes, Hewlett Packard, जो लैपटॉप आज दिखता है HP के, ये HP ने ही अनवील किया था and the model was HP01. It was quite amazing because it was this wrist gadget जहाँ पे एक कैलेंडर था, एक कैलकुलेटर था, साथ में क्लॉक, स्टॉपवॉच.
Welcome back. Bypolls to 13 assembly constituencies in 7 states are being held today, the first since the Lok Sabha elections, which saw the BJP falling short of a majority and the opposition gaining strength. But key bypolls in 13 assembly seats across 7 states, I beg your pardon. It's the TMC versus the BJP that's in focus on 4 seats in West Bengal. Vikravandi by-election in Tamil Nadu, meanwhile, the polling is at 12.94% till 9 a.m. Let's go across to my colleague Saurabh Gupta, who's been tracking the latest developments as far as West Bengal is concerned. Saurabh, the stakes are high for both the ruling Trinamool Congress, which actually beat all expectations and improved its tally in the Lok Sabha polls, and the BJP, whose figure went down from 18 to 12.
Yes, and you know, in several of these bypolls that you're seeing, it has been necessitated because of the Lok Sabha elections where MLAs quit their MLA positions, joined another party and contested the Lok Sabha elections unsuccessfully, and some of them are recontesting once again as MLAs from their old seats. Now let's take a look at the seats that are going to polls. Maniktala is the first seat in Kolkata. Maniktala, of course, the bypoll has been necessitated because the senior Trinamool leader there, Shadhon Pandey, died, and therefore the Trinamool has fielded his wife Shupti Pandey from the seat, and the BJP of course has fielded Kalyan Chaube to take on Shupti Pandey in that seat. Then you also have Raiganj in Uttar Dinajpur district. There, of course, Krishna Kalyani quit the BJP as an MLA and then, of course, joined the TMC. He contested the Raiganj seat but lost to Kartik Paul of the BJP. He is now contesting from the same MLA seat that he had quit, but this time on a Trinamool ticket. Then you have the Ranaghat Dakshin seat. There too, Mukutmani Adhikari, who was a BJP MLA, quit. He joined the TMC, contested the Lok Sabha elections unsuccessfully. Now, of course, he's contesting from his old seat once again, but on a Trinamool ticket again. Then you have Bagda. In Bagda too, the MLA had resigned and joined the TMC and contested the Lok Sabha elections, lost. But what happened was here now the Trinamool has fielded someone called Madhuparna Thakur, who is the daughter of Rajya Sabha MP Mamata Bala Thakur. But more importantly, she hails from the Thakur Bari or the Thakur family, and they have huge influence over the Mothua community, which is the dominant voting group in this constituency. So these, of course, are the constituencies that are going to polls. Each constituency closely watched. The BJP hopes to retain the 3 seats that it won in 2019 that are going to Bypolls. The Trinamool is confident they'll win all 4 seats. However, the results, of course, are an indicator of, how, because these are, of course, Bypolls, so usually the ruling party has an advantage. But if the BJP can hold on to some of the seats that it is contesting, some of the seats which were its own seats in 2021, then it would, of course, be happy with that performance.
Thanks so much, Saurabh, as always, for joining us with those key details. We also have Sam Daniel with us at the moment. Sam, lots of action expected in Vikravandi in Tamil Nadu. You have mentioned that huge deaths are a challenge for the DMK there.
That's right, Parameshwar. The key opposition, the AIADMK, has boycotted this bypoll, alleging misuse of official machinery by the ruling DMK. So the contest is between the ruling DMK and the PMK, that's part of the NDA. And it was the DMK MLA who had died recently, paving way for this by-election. And the PMK, which is part of the NDA, has raked up the illicit liquor tragedy in neighboring Kallakurichi district, which had led to the death of 65 people there. And during the campaign, it alleged connivance by police officials and also alleged complicity by the ruling DMK, which the ruling party has denied. The PMK also rakes up the issue of the DMK's failure to what it calls preserve the 10.5% internal reservation given to the one-year community. And the ruling DMK, of course, denies these allegations, saying the government had done everything possible immediately, including suspension of the SP and several police officers and appointment of a one-man inquiry commission. And they count on the welfare schemes of the ruling DMK over the last couple of years in Tamil Nadu, including the 1,000 rupee monthly assistance for women and the free bus ride for women across Tamil Nadu. And the BJP, of course, has been challenging and criticizing the DMK on issues of the illicit liquor tragedy, family politics and corruption. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin interestingly did not campaign in person in this constituency because party sources say he was uncomfortable because he did not travel to Kallakurichi when the illicit liquor tragedy took place, and hence he had only sent a video message appealing for votes and had deployed ministers, including his son Udaynithi, to campaign. So we'll have to wait and watch whether the voters in this constituency would look at this as a referendum on the performance of the ruling DMK, although trends-wise, it's quite a regular feature in Tamil Nadu that assembly bypolls are won by the ruling party normally.
Sam, as always, thanks so much for joining us with the latest. Let's get you the latest update from Manipur. Alleging injustice, Kuki Inpi, the traditional governing body of the Kukis in Manipur, has called for a 12-hour shutdown in Kuki-Zo-dominated areas today. In Kangpokpi, there was protests demanding release of the arrested people. The protesters stated that amidst the alleged brutal killings of the Kuki-Zo people by the Manipur state, the deployment of the Central Security Forces in vulnerable areas initially provided a sense of safety and security for the Kuki-Zo people. For the latest from Ground Zero, let's go across to my colleague Rathadeep Chaudhary, who joins us live at the moment. Rathadeep, what details can you disclose currently?
Well, in the Kuki Zomi tribe-dominated areas of Manipur like Kangkopi, Churachandpur and even More, there have been a total shutdown for 12 hours which have started from this morning. Now, why this shutdown has been called is because yesterday in an operation by the security forces, the security forces claimed that they have nabbed 3 members of insurgent groups who were carrying military-grade automatic weapons and about 1,300 rounds of ammunition on them. And after this arrest, actually the Kukizo civil society groups wanted these people to be released, and there was a kind of a protest as well last evening in Kangkopi district. Now what police sources are telling us that security forces were tipped off by the NIA in regards to these people. Remember, NIA at this moment is investigating into last year's ethnic violence and what led to the violence, in the sense the terror angle to the violence, given the fact that there have been allegations of armed groups from the other side of the border with Manipur, from the Myanmar side also being involved in the conflict, and therefore on a NIA tip-off this operation was carried out. That's what the Manipur police sources are telling us. Now the civil society groups from the Kukizo community, however, claim that when the central forces were deployed in the Zomi dominated areas, they had a sense of relief, but of late there have been certain operations in which what they claim that normal village volunteers are being targeted. But remember, on both sides of the conflict, there are armed youths who claim themselves to be village volunteers protecting their own areas. So this becomes very difficult at times for the security agencies as well to man the areas in terms of identifying who is a member of a militant outfit and who is village volunteers, and therefore disarmament is a very important step towards solving the Manipur crisis. Now, from this morning in the Zomi dominated areas, as of now, peaceful protest in the form of shutdown is continuing. As we report, we don't have any reports of untoward incident, but this comes close on the heels of Rahul Gandhi's visit to Manipur, where he met affected people from all communities, went to Jiribam, went to Churachandpur and then Moirang, and in Imphal he met the governor. So while the opposition is trying to corner the government over the Manipur issue, the government has launched operation to nab what government claims people who have terror links and who are involved in the violence. However, now in the Kukizo dominated areas, the civil society groups are saying that only innocent village volunteers are being targeted, and that's why they are protesting in the form of a shutdown.
As always, Ratnadeep, thanks so much for joining us with those crucial details. With that, let's turn our attention now to Uttarakhand, where heavy rain has triggered landslides. National Highway near Joshimath has actually been closed. The Badrinath Highway near Joshimath is blocked. Take a look at those dramatic visuals coming in from Uttarakhand. There are huge traffic jams along highways. Pilgrims, we're told, are stranded. 24 hours later, roads remain shut. Let's get a quick update from Ground Zero. Kishore joins us over the phone line at the moment. Kishore, what's the status this morning as far as Uttarakhand is concerned? We are hearing that heavy rain has triggered landslides across the state.
देहरादून अगर बात करें पूरे उत्तराखंड की, तो उत्तराखंड में फिलहाल अभी बारिश का सिस्टम अभी फिलहाल 12 तारीख तक नहीं दिया गया, हालांकि येलो अलर्ट दिया गया है। दूसरी बात, अगर लैंडस्लाइड की बात करें तो बद्रीनाथ और जो बद्रीनाथ नेशनल हाईवे है वहां पर बड़ा लैंडस्लाइड हुआ है। वहां पर हालांकि अभी पिछले 24 घंटे से ज्यादा वो लैंडस्लाइड अभी यात्रा रुकी हुई है, और जो तमाम यात्री है वो उनको दूसरे रास्ते यानी जो पैदल रास्ते वहां से निकाला जा रहा है। अभी फिलहाल जो सबसे बड़ा अपडेट ये है कि चारधाम यात्रा को लगातार चल रही है, उसको रोका नहीं गया है, यात्रा अभी चल रही है। लेकिन उस लैंडस्लाइड, जो बड़ा लैंडस्लाइड हुआ था, पहाड़ का हिस्सा गिरा था, उसको हटाने के लिए लगातार काम चल रहा है, क्योंकि ये बद्रीनाथ नेशनल हाईवे की तरफ से गिरा है, तो दूसरे रास्ते से लोगों को निकाला जा रहा है। फिलहाल अगर बारिश की सिचुएशन की बात करें तो 12 तारीख तक फिलहाल मौसम विभाग ने हल्की बारिश और येलो अलर्ट जारी किया है।
Thanks so much, Kishore, for joining us with that quick, crucial update. As Kishore Rawat is reporting, despite the inclement weather, despite the landslides that you see on your screens at the moment, the Char Dham Yatra has not been suspended so far. In other news, Prime Minister Modi arrived in Vienna from Moscow on a 2-day visit to Austria. during which the two nations will explore ways to further deepen their bilateral relationship and closer cooperation on the many geopolitical challenges. It is the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Austria in 41 years, the last actually being one of Indira Gandhi in 1983. But Mr. Modi will call on the President of the Republic of Austria and hold talks with the Chancellor today. The Prime Minister and the Chancellor will then also address business leaders from India and Austria. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister arrived at the Hotel Ritz-Carlton in Vienna and was actually greeted by the members of the Indian community at the hotel. And on arrival, the Austrian artist sang Vande Mataram to welcome him. Listen in. News from home ground now. Well, a report states that an NGO is being harassed by the Delhi police. In fact, the Delhi government alleges that trees are being illegally cut on the Lieutenant Governor's orders. The Supreme Court will be hearing the tree felling matter today. The Delhi government has said there's an attempt to shoot the messenger. In fact, we have a reaction from Saurabh Bhardwaj, who has just posted on X saying the NGO which is fighting the Honorable Supreme Court to save forests is being harassed by the Delhi police. Saurabh Bhardwaj has said, interestingly, Delhi police is directly under the LG, and there are allegations that trees in Sadbari Ridge were illegally cut on directions of the Lieutenant Governor. The Supreme Court is expected to hear this matter today. Ishika joins us over the phone line with the latest details. Ishika, what can we expect in the court today?
Well, in fact, as you very rightly mentioned, the NGO that, in fact, had filed a petition against the 1,100 trees that were allegedly cut in the DDA Ridge area. And now, in fact, the same NGO, the founder, in fact, has claimed that he has been harassed by the Delhi cops for pursuing this case. Now, thus, the petition had been filed yesterday for the urgent hearing. And what we are getting to know is that the case will be heard in the Supreme Court at around 12:30. Now, before that, let me first tell you that, in fact, as you rightly mentioned, Saurabh Bhardwaj, who is the cabinet minister and also the member of the fact-finding committee of the Delhi government in this particular case, had, in fact, reacted on this, saying that Delhi police, interestingly, comes under the Lieutenant Governor, and it is shameful that it is happening in the national capital when the same matter is being heard at the top court of the country. Now, he, in fact, also goes on to claim that he's being told that even the bank accounts of the said NGOs are being tracked by the central government agencies so that the NGO can be arm-twisted, and this clearly is an attempt to shoot the messenger. Now, remember, in fact, we have seen how the controversy here had erupted around the role of the Lieutenant Governor in this particular case, where it was alleged that the Lieutenant Governor had visited the site on February 3rd, and after that, on his directions, the trees were cut. So these were the allegations. The Supreme Court is going to hear this case today. And then the main matter is also listed for the July 12th. So we'll have to wait and watch for that.
Thanks, Ashika. We will, of course, revert to you when the Supreme Court begins to hear the matter. In other news, actor Kamal Hassan's Indian 2, a pan-India film, is set to release on Friday, directed by Shankar. This is the sequel to his 1996 blockbuster Indian. Anirudh has scored the music. The film also features Anushka, Siddharth, Rakul Preet, Priya Bhavnani, Shankar, among others. My colleague Sam Daniel did an exclusive interview with the filmmaker. Here's what he told Sam.
Director Shankar and actor Kamal Hassan's Indian set the box office on fire in 1996 pan-India. 28 years later, they have teamed up again for a sequel, Indian 2. Joining us now, the master filmmaker, Mr. Shankar himself. Thank you very much for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
The central theme of this film is corruption. Do you think it's still relevant pan-India?
Thought of the movie is just a pan-Indian thought. So I'm confident that each and every citizen of our country can associate with this movie, and they will watch the movie fully. It will be very engaging for them, for the family audience, and this is for all generations, and there is something to take away from this movie for every citizen.
Both you and Mr. Kamal Haasan over the years have established yourself into big names in your respective fields. What was it like working with him after 28 years?
It was so nice. He was, after 28 years, he was more experienced. His acting also very updated. So even after so many years of acting, he is very particular about his acting is very trendy, which will appeal to the nowadays audience.
The Senapati Tata, the old man, he is the central character. Is it true it took every day several hours for the prosthetic makeup to be done for Mr. Kamal Haasan?
70 days with the prosthetic makeup. So every day he is the one to come to the set first, and it will take from 3 hours to 3.5 hours. Then we can work maximum 5.5 hours only, and then it will take 1 hour for him to remove the makeup. So he can't eat solid food. So he'll be having some juice, soup and all. Once he finishes the shoot and once he removes the makeup, only he can eat solid food. So he has gone through all these difficulties because he loved the character and the passion for the cinema.
Mr. A.R. Rahman had scored music for Indian. One would have thought you would have written him for the sequel as well, but was it a difficult choice to say no to him and to engage Mr. Anirudh?
It's not like that, because the situation is totally different. When I finished 2.0 shoot, there were something went wrong in the visual effects for that the huge bird. So we are in a situation to recreate that from the scratch. That time my work is finished, but A.R. Rahman's work is not completed. Just now he started the background score. It's a huge task because he did very beautifully, and he had put a lot of efforts. I think out of all of my films, for the background score, he had put enormous effort for the movie 2.0. So if I ask for the songs for Indian 2 also, it will be heavy burden for him. I can't ask also. So meanwhile, I am seeing the growth of Anirudh. All his songs are so good. I am enjoying that also. So I thought I should work with him and I should take him for this Indian tour.
Mr. Shankar, such a joy talking to you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
That was master filmmaker Mr. Shankar talking to us ahead of the release of Indian 2. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, Find the TV.
They are just barking dogs.
Indians.
Named Senapati. Freedom fighter.
Enough.
After a great victory by Indian team, and today we are reporting from Mohali International Airport where we are showing these visuals. Arshdeep hamare saath hai.
The performance is good and the results mile.
We are in the city of Kanpur today because they have their champion back home, Kuldeep Yadav.
Desperation for each and everyone to go there and win the World Cup, and we did it.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Here we are and ये है आप सभी जैसे जानते हैं मेरा पर्सनल फेवरेट सेक्शन जहां पे मैं देता हूं आपके सवालों के जवाब इन दिस सेगमेंट दैट वी कॉल आस्क टीजी। देखते हैं इस एपिसोड में हमको क्या सवाल मिले हैं।
Hi TG, is the Insta360 X4 worth upgrading from the Insta360 X3 camera? Also, do you think there are any other alternatives?
I'll give you my honest takeaway. Insta360 is doing really good in terms of these 360 cameras, action cameras, small cameras and everything. But I would say please don't upgrade to the X4 if you already have an X3 because X3 is really powerful in itself. और Insta360 X3 बहुत अच्छे options लेके आता है. It's a well-rounded deal altogether. So if in case you already have it, there's no point for you to upgrade. Here we are and
All government in the Supreme Court as the Supreme Court has ruled that Mamata Banerjee government's suit against the centre is valid. The government had approached the Supreme Court over the Central Bureau of Investigation registering cases in West Bengal. The Bengal government had revoked general consent for CBI and now we're told the next hearing in the case is on the 13th of next month. The next hearing in the case is on the 13th of August. A win, though, for the Bengal government in the Supreme Court, as the Supreme Court has ruled that Mamata Banerjee's government's suit against the centre is indeed valid. We are waiting for Sunil Prabhu to join us with the latest details from the Supreme Court. But if I can bring you up to date with the breaking news information we're tracking, a win for the Bengal government in the top court as the Supreme Court has ruled that Mamata's government's suit against the centre is valid. Do remember that the government had actually approached the Supreme Court over the Central Bureau of Investigation registering cases in Bengal. The Bengal government had revoked general consent for the Central Bureau of Investigation. My colleague Sunil Prabhu is with us at the moment, joining us with the latest from the Supreme Court. Sunil, the Supreme Court has clearly said that Mamata government's suit is against the centre is indeed valid.
That's right. So what they've basically done to simplify to our viewers, every state has, the power to give a general consent. For example, in Karnataka, if you want, CBI to investigate, the state will have to give a general consent for the CBI to act accordingly. Under the Delhi Police Special Establishment Act, they get that overarching powers to do so. In West Bengal, the state has withdrawn it. Can the CBI, on its own, unilaterally go ahead and start arrests in the West Bengal? That was the case against for which the state of West Bengal went to the Supreme Court, and the centre has now said that their point is absolutely correct and valid and maintainable, and it's in this context that they will have to hear the entire matter. They've given various judgments in this regard, and it's in this context that they have said very categorically that without the general consent, the CBI cannot overreach its powers and go to the state of West Bengal.
Thanks so much, Sunil, for joining us with the latest from the Supreme Court. Saurabh Gupta is with us as well over the phone line. Saurabh, it's considered a win for the Bengal government in the Supreme Court?
This is going to have a political impact as well, because one of the debates that we've seen in West Bengal and several other opposition ruled states is the fact that they have alleged, these governments, which are opposition governments, have always alleged that the CBI and other central agencies, for that matter, have acted at the behest of the BJP, which is in power at the centre. This has been a constant complaint of opposition ruled states. This has been built into their election narratives as well, especially in West Bengal, where the CBI, ED have been very active in, investigation of cases. Now, several cases have been handed over by the High Court here to the CBI. But this is about general consent, and this, of course, is about the fact that whether the CBI on its own can register cases. And that's something that Sunil explained. What does general consent for the CBI mean? Now, that the continuation of registration of cases is constitutional overreach is what the verdict is. Of course, this is Justice Gawai dictating the verdict. And he said, as has been held in the case of the state of Rajasthan versus Union, the legal rights of the state consist in their immunity. In our considered opinion, the contentions of the defendant cannot be accepted and the suit shall proceed. We will clarify that findings are for the purpose of deciding preliminary objections and will have no bearing when the case is decided on merit. So this, of course, is the initial point of the Supreme Court. Now, the date for this matter has been fixed in September. But this is interesting because what, Justice Gawai has said in court is that it has wide ramifications over federalism. And one of the accusations of all opposition parties has been that the federal structure of the country is being altered. Opposition states have maintained this for a number of cases, and they say that this is something that is likely to be, altering the federal structure. And therefore, this is something that's going to be important to watch as to what the Supreme Court says. However, the Supreme Court has cleared the findings today that they said are for the purpose of deciding the preliminary objection and will have no bearing when the case is decided on merits. That is when the state of West Bengal and other states argue, other stakeholders argue, and also the centre has its view on these matters as well. And these arguments will take place once the matter is heard in September. But this is going to be a very important case. As the Supreme Court judge says, it is also likely to be having wide ramifications over federalism or the federal structure of the country, something that the opposition parties, especially parties like the Trinamool Congress, have said is being altered by the BJP, and they add that central agencies are being misused, and one of those central agencies has been the CBI.
Right, Saurabh. So what exactly then happens to the past cases?
Well, I think the court will have to clarify because, several cases have been handed over by the High Court, and courts have the power to hand over cases to central agencies. So whether the, court decisions, High Court decisions override the general consent, all of that is something that perhaps we will have greater clarity on, because there are certain areas in the law which are largely framed by, judicial pronouncements. And therefore, this is something that is going to have political impact. It is also going to impact the larger argument that opposition parties have made, like I said, of the federal structure of the country, where state governments enjoy certain amount of autonomy to run their, governments. But CBI, they say, and including CBI, other agencies, they say, has been misused by the BJP. So this is, of course, something that we will see come up for hearing in the next few days.
As always, Saurabh, thank you so much for joining us with the latest details. The breaking news information we're tracking on NDTV at the moment. A win for the Bengal government in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has said Mamata government's suit against the centre is valid. The Supreme Court has said it has wide ramifications for federalism. The government had actually approached the top court over the Central Bureau of Investigation registering cases in West Bengal. Bengal government had revoked the general consent for the Central Bureau of Investigation. The next hearing in the case will now be on the 13th of August.
In association, NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
The biggest democratic exercise in the world. Team NDTV covers it from ground zero.
BJP really had to fight a tough election this time.
Unprecedented exercise. Unmatched coverage.
There is no dispute. Janta ko decide karna hai.
From polling to counting, NDTV brought you the most trustworthy news and updates.
with camera person Sanjay Chakravarti.
Elections mean NDTV.
कैसे आप टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करते हुए अपने गैजेट्स का पोटेंशियल और एनहांस कर सकते हो. एंड दिस टाइम इट्स अबाउट एआई. इट्स अबाउट गूगल्स लेटेस्ट जेमिनाई, बिकॉज ये अभी इंडिया में आ चुका है एंड यू शुड यूज दैट बिकॉज इट कैन डू अ लॉट. मतलब अगर आपको ईमेल लिखना है एंड यू नीड सम हेल्प कंपोजिंग दैट ईमेल, यहाँ पे जस्ट बाय यूजिंग द हेल्प मी राइट ऑप्शन आप ईमेल्स जेमिनाई से लिखवा सकते हैं. ये आपकी ईमेल्स को समराइज कर सकता है और आपके लिए बहुत सारे अच्छे तरीके से हेल्प कर सकता है ऑल अक्रॉस सिनेरियोज, ऑल थैंक्स टू द पावर ऑफ एआई. तो जेमिनाई अभी इंडिया में अवेलेबल हो चुका है. वेल एज ऑफ नाउ इट्स ओनली फॉर द प्रीमियम गूगल कस्टमर्स या फिर ये गूगल वर्क प्लेसेस में अवेलेबल है, बट आई एम श्योर इट्स कमिंग सून फॉर एवरीवन. और आप सभी जब इसको फोन में यूज करेंगे.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
A win as far as the government of West Bengal is concerned in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has gone on to say that Mamata Banerjee's government's case against the centre is valid, and the state government versus CBI as far as the cases in West Bengal is concerned, and it's the Bengal's government that has revoked the general consent for CBI. And in the Mumbai hit and run case, the accused Mihir Shah has finally been arrested after 3 days of being on the run. It's the Shinde Sena leader's son who has now been arrested. He'll be produced in court, and it's the Congress that's demanding a murder case against Mihir Shah. In the NEET trial, the CBI will be submitting its report on the NEET controversy, and that's expected about 5 o'clock in the evening. And post that, there'll be that case that'll be coming up in the top court tomorrow. Key Bypolls in 13 assembly seats across 7 states. It's the TMC versus the BJP with the focus on the 4 seats in West Bengal. But in Tamil Nadu, it will be the huge tragedy deaths and be a challenge as far as DMK is concerned. But in Punjab, it seems to be a litmus test when it comes to Bhagwant Mann, and also in Himachal Pradesh for Sukhwinder Sukhu. And in Karnataka, a police complaint has been filed against Chief Minister Siddaramaia's wife. The spotlight is on the land allotment controversy, and allegations that are being made is that the wife fabricated documents for that very plot, and the police so far haven't registered a fresh FIR in the case. Massive landslide on the Badrinath highway. We are talking about Uttarakhand, where the national highway has been closed, and this is due to the landslides. The heavy rainfall has led to a lot of destruction in Uttarakhand over the last few days. And in the top court, coming up today is the pleas against, this is in order to review that decision that was taken in October of last year regarding legalizing same-sex marriages. So a 5-judge bench panel headed by the Chief Justice of India will be hearing those review pleas based on grounds that they need to buy property jointly, they want to adopt children, and so much more, for which they need to legalize same-sex marriages. A very good morning. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vadva. We have a whole lot lined up for you, and let's get your top story, and that is a win for the West Bengal's government in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has gone on to say that Mamata Banerjee's government's case against the centre is valid, and it is, of course, it has been the government versus the CBI as far as the cases in West Bengal is concerned, and the West Bengal government had revoked the general consent for CBI. So now the next hearing that's going to be coming up next month on the 13th, but there are wide ramifications over federalism is what was said in the Supreme Court today. And to get more on this, we have my colleagues Saurabh and Sunil Prabhu joining us. Saurabh, to you first. Highlight the grounds on this big win as far as Mamata Banerjee's government is concerned.
This is a win as far as Mamata Banerjee's government is concerned. But, look at the history of general consent in opposition parties. Now, what is general consent? Basically, it's consent for the CBI to operate seamlessly. And then, of course, general consent withdrawn means that the CBI cannot withdraw, I beg your pardon, the CBI cannot, register cases. Now, this, of course, is something that's been a political issue as well. And if you look at the history of general consent, it was Mizoram, of course, first that withdrew it. But beyond that, if you look in recent times, there was Chandrababu Naidu's Telugu Desam party in that withdrew general consent. Then the Trinamool Congress did it. Then also, Chhattisgarh did it. Punjab, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Kerala and Jharkhand have done it. And there has been a lot of political debate over the functioning of central agencies, and that's been the voice of opposition-ruled states and opposition parties who say that these agencies have been misused by the centre. And that is one of the allegations. And then, of course, you have several cases where cases have been handed over by the courts after hearing arguments on both sides. In a way, this has also led to in certain ways, the idea of general consent being withdrawn really being diluted. Because what has happened in most cases is that the parties have gone to court with, asking for a CBI probe. And in several cases, this had been political parties as well. And then the courts have heard the matter and handed over the cases to CBI. That has been one part of the developments. But in this case, this is going to be a larger sort of, clearance from the Supreme Court on what general consent and how these things function. Also the Supreme Court has made it clear that this has ramifications on federalism. I think we have Dr. Shantanu Sen joining us from the Trinamool Congress. Sir, the West Bengal government's sort of stand that the general consent which was withdrawn way back in 2018, but the CBI continues to sort of function in the state, and and this has been the accusation of the TMC that these agencies have been misused. Today's verdict is important from the Trinamool Congress's point of view. Dr. Shantanu Sen?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Dr. Shantanu Sen, if you can hear me, this is Saurabh from NDTV. Sir, today's Supreme...
Am I audible?
Today's verdict is very important from the Trinamool in the Supreme Court. Yes, sir, you're audible. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Now it is crystal clear to all that CBI, which was formed in the year 1963, now they only work at the behest of Bharatiya Janata Party, and it has become the most trustworthy political wing of Bharatiya Janata Party. And the central ruling party uses this central agency against the opposition political parties, and the opposition political party rule states to gain their political benefit. And it has been proved time and again by several such activities. So definitely it's a welcome step, and it's a victory of our government. There is a victory of Mamata Banerjee, who has been demanding since long that CBI cannot do any investigation neutrally, because they have already made themselves a political tool of Bharatiya Janata Party.
Ma'am, if I can come to you, of course, this is something that, the BJP also has been demanding CBI probes in several cases in Bengal, and the courts have very often agreed and handed over cases. How does the BJP look at this development in the Supreme Court?
You see, the main thing here is once again the Supreme Court of India has given a tight slap to the Trinamool government, and it has been repeatedly observed that in general, if you look at the wrongdoings in West Bengal, if I may use the word wrongdoings, if the police and the government had been a little more active and caught Shah Jahan, in this case it is Shah Jahan's case that they're referring to, they didn't have to wait for some 55 days and caught the miscreant. then I don't think anybody would have wanted or even thought of asking the central agencies to come in. Because you must understand, Shah Jahan is not a one-off case. Shah Jahan had been booked for initially ration scams because his name was associated with Jyotirmoy Malik. But then when the CBI, when the inquiry started and when the soil was being unearthed, we realized that there are 3 major cases against him. In fact, there is a gentleman called Shukritam Shorkar, who is, I think, the SDP or the SP of that area. The police had given a press conference saying that they have only arrested Shah Jahan because of the land cases where, you know, he's taken land from a lot of locals without proper legal documents, and they have arrested him because of the incident that of assault on the CBI people. If you remember, that
I understand, ma'am. I understand, and these are, ma'am, these are arguments that the High Court heard, and of course, in a sense, handed over the probe to the CBI. But specifically coming to general consent and today's development in the Supreme Court, what has happened is that the Supreme Court has also held today that the federal structure, this has wide ramifications on federalism. So, and that's the word that opposition parties have been using. How do you respond to that is my question.
Supreme Court has also said that in the same statement, I think, Supreme Court has also said that why is the Mamata government so, hell-bent on protecting one individual? So there is, I don't think that the federalism is in question here. That is why I started my talk with the first line, that if the state government had been a little more proactive and had utilized the police properly and had allowed the CIB to do the proper investigation, then there would have been no question of central agencies stepping in. Why do the central agencies step in? It's only when the state government and their police don't do anything.
Right, ma'am.
And that is where BJP is
Right. We're running short of time, but thank you so much, Dr. Shantanu Sen and Shatripa ma'am, for joining us on the broadcast. But this is going to be an important case to watch, and we'll keep our eyes on the hearings when they take place in the Supreme Court in September.
Right. Thank you so much, Saurabh, for joining us with all those details. Switching tracks now to Mumbai, and it's Mihir Shah, the 24-year-old who rammed his BMW into a couple that led to the death of a 45-year-old fish seller, has finally been arrested after being on the run for 3 days. Do remember the hit and run took place at about 5:30 in the morning on Sunday. It was a mobile phone of a friend of the key accused in the case that led to the police to Mihir Shah, who had fled the scene after allegedly running over his luxury car. It took the Mumbai police days to catch the accused because he, along with his mother and sisters, had switched off their mobile phones. Mihir Shah has allegedly, he was behind the wheels at the time of the accident. It's his driver who was in the passenger seat, and the woman was then dragged for nearly 1.5 kilometers. After that, it's Shah and the driver who planned to exchange their seats, and that is when they ran over her all over again. Now, the accused is going to be produced in court, and despite the arrest, the family is skeptical as far as justice is concerned. Do remember his father, who's a Shinde Sena leader, was arrested for non-cooperation but was released on bail in a matter of 24 hours.
हिट एंड रन में जो लूपहोल्स आए, ये सरकार ने, शासन ने और सरकार के लोगों ने जानबूझकर ये प्रकरण को दबाने की कोशिश की है। इस प्रकरण को लूज करने की कोशिश की है, आरोपी को बचाने की पूरेपूर कोशिश की है। ये मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि इसकी SIT मार्फत जांच होनी चाहिए। जब वो आरोपी 48 घंटे के बाद, 24 घंटे के बाद में वो अल्कोहल कंज्यूम किया है कि नहीं, ये पता थोड़ी चलेगा। इसीलिए उसको छुपाया गया। पुलिस को पता था कि वो कहाँ है, फिर भी उसको नहीं। उसके 2 बार उसने खुद की टेस्ट करवाई, और उसको जब लगा कि अभी मेरे बॉडी में अल्कोहल नहीं है, तभी वो आके सरेंडर हुआ और पुलिस ने दिखावा किया।
Well, Anuj is joining us from outside the police station in Worli. Anuj, of course, questions being raised as to how come that, the police took 3 days to nab Mihir Shah. Whether it's the Congress party or whether it's the family, they're saying that, he's finally now surrendered after 3 days because he knows that now he can take a blood test and alcohol levels will not come out in that test. And that is why it took him 3 days, to be brought to be taken into custody and then finally to be brought to court.
A lot more will come out today afternoon in court when we finally see Mihir Shah getting produced before the Shivdi magistrate, a metropolitan magistrate. There the police will of course put forth the entire course of the events according to them. They are currently interrogating him not here in the Worli police station where it was originally supposed to happen. Since last night all of us have been here and trying to waiting because we thought that the formalities would be completed in this police station, but it's past 11 a.m. and it's quite certain that Mihir Shah will not be produced in this police station at all. He'll directly be taken for a medical examination, and after that he'll be taken to the court where all of these details will be taken into consideration. There have been statements by the family which have been taken into record by the police as well. Police did detain several of his associates, including 4 family members, including his family members and a close friend of his. And what we get to know now is the fact that after an initial round of questioning, they have been let go off because the police's primary concern at the moment is Mihir Shah. Got to know that Mihir Shah is kind of beating around the bush, not answering the way the police or not cooperating in the way the police would have liked him to. But then all of this will show up in the report which will later be produced in the Shivdi court. The family has stated that he surrendered. The victim's family, that is the deceased's family, has been of an opinion that that a tough punishment should be granted to the accused in this case. We've seen the videos where they've been asking for the most difficult punishment to be given to him. And after last night, when the deceased's family members talked about lack of political intervention in this case, about no one from the politics arena reaching out to them, last evening we saw several leaders, especially from the opposition, that is the NCP and the Congress party, and also the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena, making their way either to meet the deceased's family member or in the police station to make sure that the protests will go on if the case doesn't reach its fulfillment. An important point here is that the arrest was made after 72 to 75 hours after the accident took place. And although not the most important thing, but one of the more important things in this case is the drink and drive aspect of it. But that will be difficult for police to prove now, is solely on the basis of the blood reports. So that might affect the police remand report to a certain extent, but they are sure of having several eyewitness accounts and the CCTV footage, which has not yet been made public via media. The Congress is pushing for it to be made public, but details on it will, of course, come later in the court as well.
Right, Anuj, so from what we're hearing right now from our sources is that Mihir Shah has denied that he was under the influence of alcohol. He said that he has gone on to confirm that he was behind the wheel, that he was the one who was driving, and that he was scared, which is why he fled from the scene of the accident. So this is, what is being said as far as Mihir is concerned, that he has confirmed that he was behind the wheel. Do remember it was the father of Mihir Shah who had, in fact, pressurized the driver to take, the blame for his son. And now it is Mihir Shah who's come out and said, yes, it was him who was behind the wheels, of course, because there is CCTV footage that clearly can be seen, in which that you can see that the 2 men have come out of the car, with the driver who was on the passenger side and it was Mihir who was on the driver's seat. They both come out and exchange their seats, and that is when, do remember that the lady was being dragged for 1.5 kilometers. When they decided to swap seats is when they came out of the car, they stopped the car. Of course, according to sources that we are hearing at the moment, is that Mihir Shah has confirmed that he was behind the wheel, but he has also gone on to say that he wasn't under the influence of alcohol. Anuj, a big question being raised whether we heard the father of the whether we've heard the Congress party, we've heard the Uddhav Thackeray side of the Sena, and we've also heard the husband of the victim say that this was on purpose, that they didn't manage to catch him for 3 days because they wanted that once he the alcohol's out of his system, only then to nab him, so that there is nothing that can prove whether he had alcohol traces in his blood or not.
Yeah, that was one of the major concerns right since the beginning. And if you, as I stated, by the sources if this news comes out to be true. There is several, of course, it will need to be clarified and verified in the court when the statements are taken officially. But then this kind of solves a major concern for the police, for whom the biggest concern at the moment was to prove the fact that Mihir Shah indeed himself was behind the wheels, was behind the steering wheel. And if that has been, has been
said, we have Radhika Ramaswamy joining us to get us more on this. Radhika, according to sources, there are these new developments as far as the case is concerned. Mihir Shah has finally according to sources, from what we are hearing, is that he has said that he was the one behind the wheel.
That's right. There are certain developments taking place as far as the interrogation of the main accused is concerned. He has been changing statements throughout the night and this morning. However, he has confessed that he was behind the wheels at the time of the accident. However, he has said that he was not under the influence of alcohol. So therefore, he denies being drunk at the time of the incident. That is something that will be hard for the police also to prove, considering 3 days have passed since the incident. So at this point, of course, a strategic move by the accused here, who has said that he was not under the influence of alcohol, he was not drunk, however, confessing that he was behind the wheels, also because police say they have the CCTV evidence to establish that it was this individual, it was Mihir Shah who was in fact behind the steering wheel. That is something that has been captured on CCTV. So therefore, at this point, him telling the police that it was him who was behind the wheel, however, denying that he was drunk, and also going on to say that he was scared, he was panicking at the time, so therefore he fled the spot and called the, called his father for help.
Right, Radhika, so of course, the 24-year-old saying that he got really scared, which is why he fled. He called his father right after the accident. The whereabouts that we know of is that he went to his girlfriend's house, and then from there it's his sister who went and picked him up, took him to his residence, and then from there they fled to a resort in Shahpur. But, from what we're hearing now is that he's gone on to completely deny that he was under the influence of alcohol, even though there is CCTV footage of him being at a bar, of that bill that was raked up at that bar as well.
That's right. At this point, multiple developments taking place. One, of course, the police telling us about how this man, how Mihir Shah was in fact caught. He fled the spot. He went to his girlfriend's house, post which his sister picked him up. All the family members, including mother, two sisters, and a friend, went to Shahpur. They stayed in a resort there, post which, in fact, Mihir, with his friend, went to Virar, where he took a hotel there. So, through phone locations is when they found the, Shahpur area, as well as the hotel in Virar. That's how the police managed to catch hold of Mihir. In fact, Mihir's phone was switched off for the longest time. So was his family members and friends' phone. However, at some point when he was in Virar, Mihir's friend switched on the phone a little away from the hotel, and that is when the police got a whiff and managed to catch hold of both the friend as well as Mihir, and therefore he got arrested last evening. He will be produced before the court today. The remand will be interesting to see, because what the police will be able to establish in terms of evidence will be something that we'll have to wait and watch out for.
Right, Radhika, interestingly, from what we also know is that the two sisters and the mother have also been taken in for questioning. So 12 people in all have been taken into custody. Regarding this case, Radhika, we will keep coming back to you for more on that. So let's just get you another hit-and-run case coming out of Maharashtra, and this time from Nashik. This is a driver who has in this particular case, as you can see, that white car that rams into a woman. A 36-year-old woman was killed by that speeding car in Nashik on Tuesday. The woman has been identified as Vishali Shinde, who was flung in the air and thrown about 15 to 20 meters after that white car that hit her from the back. So an incident that took place in broad daylight in the evening, this incident that took place at the Gangapur road in Nashik, in which you can see this, a woman in her 30s walking down the street when this speeding car comes out of nowhere, rams into her. She was rushed to the hospital. Unfortunately, she died. She's come to her injuries. Such a fatal accident there in which this man who was behind the wheel, he has killed this woman. So yet another hit and run case coming out of Maharashtra. This is the second one coming out of Nashik itself. There was another accident that took place just a day ago in which a truck rammed a person as well. So these are two accidents coming out of Nashik. But the third one that's coming out of Maharashtra, do remember, of course, the Worli BMW case coming out of Mumbai in Maharashtra. So 3 cases since Sunday coming to light, 3 hit and run cases that are being reported from Maharashtra. We have my colleague Anuj joining us on the phone line to get us more. Anuj, take us through, this particular accident that's taken place on Tuesday evening. But prior to this, there was another accident that involved a truck, which was also a hit and run.
There was another accident which involved a truck, and that took place on the Sunday afternoon. The one which took place yesterday was the third of its kind, if you consider these kind of accidents in Nashik from Sunday. 2 of these accidents have resulted in the death of 2 women. On Sunday, we saw the death of a 45-year-old woman who was out to take vegetables on a linking road between Gangapur Road and College Road, 2 of the major centers of the city, and then a trunk, drove over her, resulting in her loss of life at that very moment. And then another event took place last evening, which has again shocked the city because they were still coming back from what had happened on Sunday. What happened yesterday was that on the slight outskirts of the city, where the traffic is not usually much, in the evening hours, a woman, Archana Shinde, who is also known as Vaishali Shinde, was going back to her home from her working place, and then as the video shows, we saw a speeding vehicle ramped into her, and that resulted in her death quite on the spot. Now, the police have tried to trace the car and the driver with the help of the CCTV camera footage, because the number is quite clear out there, and one of the accused has been put into the jail. But these cases, the awareness of these cases and these videos are going viral on social media throughout the city, for people to take precautions and make sure that they are completely safe when they are out conducting their daily chores. Because what happened in Pune a couple of months ago, of course, the case in Mumbai, in Worli, and 2 or 3 cases in Nashik alone from Sunday have put people not just in the city but in the state and pretty much across the country on high alert while stepping out on the road. And
Right,
thank you.
Definitely, this is as far as a very unfortunate accident in which this woman in her 30s lost her life in yet another hit and run case, like Anuj was pointing out, the third that is coming out of Maharashtra since Sunday. In other news, let's get you the latest. And 18 people have died after a bus that was hit. This is a bus that hit a milk container. At least 18 people were killed and 19 others were injured after that bus that was traveling this is a bus in which this vehicle it is a bus that collided with another vehicle in Unnao. 3 women and 1 child were among those 18 who have died in the accident. The double-decker bus was traveling from Bihar to Delhi, and this accident took place on the Lucknow-Agra Expressway. My colleague Ranveer has the details.
आज सुबह 5:15 बजे एक प्राइवेट बस का जो मोतिहारी बिहार से चली थी, जिसका एक्सीडेंट एक दूध के टैंकर से 238 किलोमीटर 48 किलोमीटर का जो माइलस्टोन नेशनल हाईवे उस पर एक्सीडेंट हुआ। पीछे से बस की भिड़ंत दूध का ड्राइवर की हुई, जिसमें तक 18 लोगों की मृत्यु हुई और लगभग 19 का इलाज CHC से प्राथमिक करा था। क्या लग रहा है सर, तेज रफ्तार में? प्रथम दृष्टया जो हमारे पास सूचना आई है उसमें यही लग रहा है कि बस तेज रफ्तार में थी और बाकी इलाज के लिए हमारी तैयारी है।
Yes, at 5:15 morning today, a bus coming from Bihar Sitamarhi rammed into a milk container at Lucknow-Agra Expressway at milestone 247. And this incident claimed 18 lives and more than 20 are injured, and they have been shifted to district hospital Unnao. District magistrate Unnao told NDTV that total 18, including 14 men, 3 women, and 1 kid, were killed in this incident, while around 20 are injured in this tragedy. The bus coming from Sitamarhi from Bihar is on the way to Delhi, and it was on the way from Lucknow Agra Expressway, and it rammed into a milk container from the back and at milestone 247 at Thana Behta Muzawar. So the police station Behta Muzawar, the bus rammed into a milk container, and it took 18 lives at 5:15 morning today.
Right, thank you, Ranveer, for getting us all those details. But that was slipping a short break. Back with the whole lot.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Get ready for the ride of your life. NDTV brings you the NDTV Auto Show with me, Mugdha Mishra. From the fastest supercars to the sleekest new energy vehicles to your trusted daily ride, we cover it all. Every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7. Your next great escape starts here.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
You know that the world's first smartwatch was like 1977 में develop कर लिया था. It was straight from HP. Yes, Hewlett Packard, जो लैपटॉप आज दिखता है HP के, ये HP ने ही unveil किया था, and the model was HP01. It was quite amazing because it was this wrist gadget जहाँ पे एक कैलेंडर था, एक कैलकुलेटर था, साथ में क्लॉक, stopwatch, timer, alarm, and in fact a world clock as well. Well, this gadget was really powerful और इसमें 28 अलग-अलग buttons थे. Well, that 28 buttons इतने से size में, well, obviously उस time पे we didn't have touch screens. उस time पे I would say for engineers and for professionals it was such a boon. But then again this product failed because it was quite.
Welcome back. Let's get you breaking news coming in at the moment, and that is a divorced Muslim woman can seek alimony from her husband is what the Supreme Court has ruled today, saying that she can ask for maintenance from her husband under Section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code, and that the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Divorce Act in 1986 will not prevail over the secular law. So this is breaking news that is coming in at the moment. The bench has made it clear that the law for seeking maintenance applies to all married women irrespective of their religion. That is what was delivered as in that case. This is a big judgment that has come from the court. The top court has decided that Muslim women are entitled to alimony as far as a divorced Muslim woman is concerned. This is the ruling that's come out of the Supreme Court. So we have my colleague Sunil joining us. Sunil, take us through, how this was, of course, a man who had gone on to say that he didn't want to give interim, alimony to his wife who he was seeking divorce from. And based on that case, there's a judgment that's come about that irrespective of the religion, women will get alimony, once they're divorced.
Absolutely. And that's a very path-breaking judgment by Justice Nagaratna. along with her colleague, though they had differing but concurring judgments. They made it very clear that under the CRPC, women will be entitled to seek the alimony and get the relief in terms of the thing if she's divorced from her husband. So it's in this context that after a divorce, a Muslim woman will be entitled to get alimony, and that's, I think, very important for the fundamental rights of women to ensure that they get equitable justice and they cannot be left stranded. They are entitled to alimony, but they will have to apply under the CRPC.
Right, thank you so much, Sunil. Just stay with us for our next story as well, and that is that the CBI will be submitting a report on the probe of the NEET row, and that is expected by 5 o'clock in the evening. And we have Sunil back with us. Sunil, take us through, at a time when more arrests are being made in the case. Now, this time around, we've heard even a candidate from Patna has been arrested. The father of a candidate also has been arrested in the case now. And so, basically, more arrests are being made, and so far the agency has arrested about 11 people. But that CBI report is going to be submitted today, and based on that, the case will be coming up in court tomorrow.
That's right. So it's very, very important to see these affidavit. And one, of course, is the CBI status report. The other is the government's affidavit, NTA, as well as the Union HRD Ministry, and what they have to say on this entire matter. The Supreme Court, led by Chief Justice of India in his bench, had made 3 important points. What were the 3 important points? One, very, very categorically saying that we do not want a retest for 24 lakh students. This will be only in an exceptional status if the leakage has been widespread. That is from the time of the leakage. If it has happened the same day and it's only a few hours, then we can understand it's a very local issue, which the government has been trying to point out, and that it's not widespread. But that will have to be looked at through the data analysis. They've asked the center to come and put a committee of experts to look at this entire issue and data analyze it and see the results and to find out how widespread it is. The second is the CBI status report about what is the status of investigation. Is it just confined to Patna, Jharkhand, or is it more widespread? Because this involves 24 lakh students, and if there is a 0.001% chance of any kind of, missed or not done properly, then definitely it's a huge cause of concern, and definitely students should not be penalized, and some should benefit by misdeeds that have taken place.
Right, Sunil, with the Supreme Court there asking the National Testing Agency for a full disclosure. Stay with us for our next story, and that is a review, please, that's coming up in court today in order to hear the case regarding legalizing same-sex marriages. We have Sunil with us. Sunil, take us through, this case that's coming up based on many grounds, considering that they say that they can't buy property, they can't adopt children, they can't open joint bank accounts, and so much more. What time is this case coming up?
Well, this is an in-camera hearing. This will have to be in the chambers of the Chief Justice of India along with his fellow judges. There are 2 new judges in this case. They will have to look at the legal aspect of it. Yesterday, there was a special mentioning by Mr. Singhvi as well as other lawyers who have been heard and who are the petitioners in the case wanting an open court hearing. Chief Justice of India says this is an in-chamber hearing. We'll have to see and look at it, and they'll have to decide whether they want to do it in open hearing in this matter or not. And then look at the legal aspect, the petitioner's point of where it is stated what was wrong in the judgment. Have there been many mistakes, and can they be re-looked at? These are very rare cases where 5-judge benches in a review petition overlook or review the earlier judgment. So that's rare in its case. So the odds are definitely against any kind of relook into the entire matter. But having said that, we'll have to wait for that judges to have that in-camera hearing inside their chamber and then find out what they have decided, whether they'll hear it in the open court or they've just simply summarily rejected the petitions that have asked for a review.
Right. Thank you so much, Sunil, for joining us with all those details. We will keep an eye out on all those developments that are taking place. For now, we slip into a very short break.
Enough.
After great victory by Indian team, and today we are reporting from Mohali international airport where we're showing these visuals. Arshdeep हमारे साथ हैं.
बहुत ही performance आई सारे दी ते बढ़िया results मिले.
We are in the city of Kanpur today because they have their champion back home, Kuldeep Yadav.
Desperation for each and everyone to go there and win the World Cup, and we did it.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Here we are, and ये है, आप सभी जैसे जानते हैं, मेरा पर्सनल फेवरेट सेक्शन जहां पे मैं देता हूं आपके सवालों के जवाब इन दिस सेगमेंट दैट वी कॉल आस्क टीजी. देखते हैं इस एपिसोड में हमको क्या सवाल मिले हैं.
Hi TG, is the Insta360 X4 worth upgrading from the Insta360 X3 camera? Also, do you think there are any other alternatives?
I'll give you my honest takeaway. Insta360 is doing really good in terms of
Welcome back. Let's get you the very latest with Bypolls in 13 assembly constituencies in 7 states are being held. The first one since the Lok Sabha elections, which saw the BJP falling short of a majority and the opposition gaining strength. The BJP won 240 seats, India Alliance clinched 232, and the Congress emerging as its biggest constituent with the wins in 99 constituencies. So, of course, now in West Bengal, the stakes are high for both the ruling TMC, which really did beat all expectations and improved its tally as far as the Lok Sabha polls is concerned to 29 of the state's 42 seats, up from 21 in 2019. To get more on this, we have my colleague Gurpreet joining us on the phone line. Gurpreet, this is really being seen as a litmus test when it comes to Bhagwant Mann in Punjab.
Well, yes, of course, it's a litmus test not only for Aam Aadmi Party, but we have learned also for the Congress, it's also a litmus test here in Punjab. Because we have seen India Alliance has been paused, but in Punjab they haven't paused this alliance, and both the parties, whether it's the BJP or Congress or Aam Aadmi Party, this is the prestige battle which is going on. One side, the Chief Minister of Punjab, Bhagwant Singh Mann, has to prove his own policy because he has been fighting this election on the development agenda. On the other side, we have seen the BJP, they say that they have already got a huge vote share and they are already ruling in the country. So they are also expecting that they will be able to make a mark here. At the same time, the Congress has been projected as one of the strong opposition party at the national level, and in Punjab they feel that the people, they want to choose for Congress this time. So let's see what will be the result, but it's a high prestige battle not only for the Chief Minister of Punjab but for all the political party to prove their mettle. If we can specifically talk about the BJP is ruling in the center at this point of time. If BJP is not able to make a mark in the state of Punjab, it's a big jolt. At the same time, if the Aam Aadmi Party is not able to make a mark in this election, it's also jolt to the Chief Minister of Punjab, Bhagwant Singh Mann, and Congress, which is proving that they are getting a lot of preference by the people of Punjab. If they are not able to make a mark in this election, that will be also another jolt to the Congress. So let's see that how the people are going to give a mandate to the candidate, but as of now, it's the prestige battle which we can sense at this point of time.
Like you pointed out, it's not just in Punjab but also in Himachal Pradesh, quite a litmus test there for Sukhwinder Sukhu. But also reports coming out right now of clashes that have broken out between two groups in Uttarakhand's Mangalore.
Well, if we can talk about specifically Himachal Pradesh and specifically the Congress party, we have seen the Congress has already been grappling with a lot of problems within the party also. If they are not able to make a mark, it will definitely dent the position of the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu, and it will definitely affect the Congress party in Himachal Pradesh.
Right. Gurpreet, they're reporting on the Bypolls underway in 7 states in 13 assembly constituencies. We also have Sam Daniel joining us. Sam, a major issue, of course, is going to be the Hooch tragedy, that has claimed so many lives recently.
That's right, Divya. The opposition candidate led by PMK, that's under NDA, they are raking up the Kallakurichi illicit liquor tragedy that happens to be in the neighboring district of Viluppuram, where this by-election takes place now. And they, during the campaign, have been alleging of connivance by police officials and also alleged complicity by the ruling DMK functionaries there, which the ruling party has denied. And the PMK also rakes up the issue of the ruling DMK's failure to what they call protect the 10.5% internal reservation given to the one-year community by the earlier AIADMK regime, but was struck down by the High Court. And of course, the ruling DMK says any kind of caste census to facilitate that kind of a legally tenable provision can be made only by the central government, and they have urged the central government to conduct caste-wise census. The key opposition, the AIADMK, is boycotting this bypoll after they suffered a rout in the recent Lok Sabha elections and a fourth in a series after Edappadi Palaniswamy took over as the party leader. And so the key fight now is between the ruling DMK and the PMK. This particular area is dominated by the one-year community and the scheduled castes, and now the race is for who would the AIADMK cadre vote for. Both the ruling DMK and the opposition led by the PMK in this case are gunning for the votes of AIADMK cadre. And the ruling DMK counts on what they call as the party's welfare measures over the last 3 years, including the 1,000 rupee monthly assistance for women and the free bus rides for women across Tamil Nadu. And the trend normally in Tamil Nadu was the ruling party would win by elections to assembly seats. But this time, it'll be interesting to see whether the people would look at this election as a referendum on the performance of the ruling DMK.
Right. Thank you so much, Sam, for joining us with those details. We also have my colleague Saurabh Gupta joining us to get us more on this. Saurabh, this is going to be a very key contest when it comes to the BJP versus the TMC yet again in West Bengal.
Yes, the functioning of central agencies, especially the CBI, has been a matter of political debate with the opposition parties in several states, not just in West Bengal, but in several states, accusing the CBI, especially central agencies, of actually functioning at the behest of the BJP. And in that context, what we've seen is that even during elections, there has been a steady reference to central agencies in political campaigns, etc. And this is something that, of course, is related to investigation of cases. Now, the general consent usually allows the CBI to function seamlessly in a state, but several states have withdrawn it, including the first. One of the first person in contemporary politics to do it was Chandrababu Naidu when Andhra Pradesh actually withdrew that consent. Then, of course, Mamata Banerjee's TMC in West Bengal has followed suit, and several other states have also followed suit and withdrawn general consent. But this is something that, of course, also the CBI, however, has continued to function in some cases, and the West Bengal government went to the Supreme Court saying that, once the general consent is withdrawn, the CBI cannot register cases. And this is something that obviously is going to have a larger imprint and impact on how central agencies can function, because what we've seen is that in several cases, the agencies have been handed over the investigation by the court, and sometimes individuals have gone to the court, sometimes it's been political parties that have gone to court, including the BJP. So CBI probes have been ordered despite, the general consent not being there. Then, of course, this is something that, of course, will now be heard in the Supreme Court. And once the Supreme Court decides on this matter, the area of operations of the CBI and the boundaries that are there, that can be set, one. And largely also, this in constant political debate over whether the CBI can come or not, and every time, these matters go to the high courts. In several cases, the Calcutta High Court itself has ordered CBI probes after hearing the cases. So this, once and for all, could actually lead to the Supreme Court laying down where the CBI stands as a body and how it can function and what its limitations are. And the matter will be heard in September. But one of the interesting aspects of today's hearing is that the TMC is, of course, reacting, saying that this has been a victory for them. They've gone to court, and the preliminary objections have not been sort of upheld. And this case now will be heard in September. And Justice Gavai, who delivered the verdict today, has said that, of course, this has ramifications on federalism. And one of the things that the opposition parties have alleged is that these agencies, the central agencies, have been misused by the BJP, they say. And also they add that this has also had an impact on the federal structure and federalism. So this is likely to be a very, very important case in the Supreme Court, because over the last few months, years, we've seen how several opposition states and opposition parties, especially in West Bengal, have been at loggerheads with central agencies and the functioning of central agencies.
Right, Saurabh, thank you so much for getting us all those details. Switching tracks now to Delhi, and it will be the Supreme Court that will be hearing the tree felling matter that's coming up in court today. According to a report, an NGO is being harassed by the Delhi police, and the Delhi government has gone on to say that the trees illegally cut were on the orders of the LG. An attempt is being made to shoot the messenger. This is a fact-finding committee from the Delhi government that inspected the Satbari area in where allegedly 1,100 trees were felled without the necessary permissions. Now, during the visit, the Urban Development Minister Saurabh Bhardwaj alleged that there was an attempt to cover up that tree felling. He also claimed that it is under the knowledge of the Supreme Court that the Delhi's LG, during his visit during February, gave verbal orders to cut the trees. And with that, we're slipping to a very short break. Back with a whole lot more. Just stay with us.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. 10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
The biggest democratic exercise.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
In the Mumbai's hit-and-run case, Mihir Shah has now finally been arrested after 3 days being on the run, and it's the family accusing the police, saying that they delayed his arrest so that there would be no blood, no alcohol found in his blood. In the NEET trial, CBI status report will be submitted today by 5 o'clock, and that CBI report will be submitted to the Supreme Court. A hearing will take place tomorrow. In Karnataka, a police complaint has been made against Siddaramaia's wife, and the spotlight is on the land allotment controversy. Allegations being made that the wife fabricated the documents for the plots. And key bypolls in 13 assembly seats across 7 states is underway, and it's the TMC versus the BJP with the focus on 4 seats. And the Hooch tragedy is going to be a challenge as far as the DMK is concerned, but a litmus test really when it comes to Bhagwant Mann and Sukhwinder Sukhu. Time to get you some entertainment news now. And actor Kamal Hassan's Indian 2 is set for release. It's going to be coming out this Friday. It's directed by Shankar, who spoke with my colleague Sam Daniel. Let's listen in.
Director Shankar and actor Kamal Hassan's Indian set the box office on fire in 1996 pan-India. 28 years later, they've teamed up again for a sequel, Indian 2. Joining us now, the master filmmaker, Mr. Shankar himself. Thank you very much for your time. Congratulations. The central theme of this film is corruption. Do you think it's still relevant pan-India?
Thought of the movie is just a pan-Indian thought. So I'm confident that each and every citizen of our country can associate with this movie, and they will watch the movie fully. It will be very engaging for them, for the family audience, and this is for all generations, and there is something to take away from this movie for every citizen.
Both you and Mr. Kamal Hassan over the years have established yourself into big names in your respective fields. What was it like working with him after 28 years?
It was so nice. He was, after 28 years, he was more experienced. His acting also very updated. So even after so many years of acting, he is very particular about his acting is very trendy, which will appeal to the nowadays audience.
The Senapati Tata, the old man, he is the central character. Is it true it took every day several hours for the prosthetic makeup to be done for Mr. Kamal Hassan?
70 days with the prosthetic makeup. So every day he is the one to come to the set first, and it will take from 3 hours to 3.5 hours. Then we can work maximum 5.5 hours only, and then it will take 1 hour for him to remove the makeup. So he can't eat solid food, so he'll be having some juice, soup and all. Once he finishes the shoot and once he removes the makeup, only he can eat solid food. So he has gone through all these difficulties because he loved the character and the passion for the cinema.
Mr. A.R. Rahman had scored music for Indian. One would have thought you would have written him for the sequel as well, but was it a difficult choice to say no to him and to engage Mr. Anirudh?
It's not like that, because the situation is totally different. When I finished 2.0 shoot, there was something went wrong in the visual effects for that the huge bird. So we are in a situation to recreate that from the scratch. That time my work is finished, but A.R. Rahman's work is not completed. Just now he started the background score. It's a huge task because he did very beautifully, and he had put a lot of efforts. I think out of all of my films, for the background score, he had put enormous effort for the movie 2.0. So if I ask for the songs for Indian 2 also, it will be heavy burden for him. I can't ask also. So meanwhile, I am seeing the growth of Anirudh. All his songs are so good, I am enjoying that also. So I thought I should work with him and I should take him for this Indian tour.
Mr. Shankar, such a joy talking to you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
That was master filmmaker Mr. Shankar talking to us ahead of the release of Indian 2. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, Find the TV.
In a
कैसे आप टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करते हुए अपने गैजेट्स का पोटेंशियल और एनहांस कर सकते हो. एंड दिस टाइम इट्स अबाउट AI. इट्स अबाउट गूगल्स लेटेस्ट जेमिनाई, बिकॉज ये अभी इंडिया में आ चुका है एंड यू शुड यूज दैट बिकॉज इट कैन डू अ लॉट. मतलब अगर आपको ईमेल लिखना है एंड यू नीड सम हेल्प कंपोजिंग दैट ईमेल, यहाँ पे जस्ट बाय यूजिंग द हेल्प मी राइट ऑप्शन आप ईमेल्स जेमिनाई से लिखवा सकते हैं. ये आपकी ईमेल्स को समराइज कर सकता है और आपके लिए बहुत सारे अच्छे तरीके से हेल्प कर सकता है ऑल अक्रॉस सिनेरियोज, ऑल थैंक्स टू द पावर ऑफ AI. तो जेमिनाई अभी इंडिया में अवेलेबल हो चुका है. वेल एज ऑफ नाउ इट्स ओनली फॉर द प्रीमियम गूगल कस्टमर्स या फिर ये गूगल वर्क प्लेसेस में अवेलेबल है, बट आई एम श्योर इट्स कमिंग सून फॉर एवरीवन. और आप सभी जब इसको फोन में यूज करेंगे, यू कैन यूटिलाइज द फुल पोटेंशियल ऑफ गूगल्स AI to make your life and your phones even smarter.
Get ready for the ride of your life. NDTV brings you the NDTV Auto Show with me, Mugdha Mishra. From the fastest supercars to the sleekest new energy vehicles to your trusted daily ride, we cover it all. Every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7. Your next great escape starts here.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV, and right after headlines, we'll talk about the big SC ruling for Muslim women. But before that, let's take a look at the top headlines this hour. Big SC ruling for alimony for Muslim women. SC says Muslim women can seek alimony under secular law. Supreme Court also says Muslim Women Divorce Act not above of personal law. In the Mumbai hit-and-run case, accused to be produced in court today, Shinde Sena leader's son arrested after 3 days. Police sources say accused admits was driving but not drunk. In a big win for Bengal government in Supreme Court, SC says Mamata government's case against centre is valid. State government versus CBI over cases in Bengal continues. The Bengal government had revoked general consent for CBI. Key bypolls in 13 assembly seats across 7 states underway. TMC versus BJP focus on 4 seats in West Bengal. Tamil Nadu, huge deaths, a challenge for DMK in Vikrawandi. Punjab, Himachal Pradesh is a test for CMs Bhagwant Mann and Sukhwinder Sukhu. In Uttarakhand, a massive landslide on Badrinath National Highway takes place. Badrinath National Highway closed near Joshimath. Heavy rain in parts of Uttarakhand over the last few days result in landslides. Now in our a landmark decision, viewers. The Supreme Court has ruled that a divorced Muslim woman can seek maintenance from her ex-husband under Section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code. The ruling came in the case of one Muhammad Abdul Samad versus State of Telangana. Now, Section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code deals with a wife's right to maintenance, applies to all married women regardless of their religion. The decision affirms that Muslim women can also invoke this provision to seek maintenance after divorce. Now, for more details, my colleague Sunil Prabhu is also joining us. Sunil, what does this say? This has larger ramifications, the Supreme Court's verdict.
Well, this is a big boost for Muslim women's rights. It's basically clear that now, in case there is a divorced Muslim woman is divorced, she can apply under the Section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code to really get benefits. So it's in that context, we'll have to wait and see how things proceed. But they are quite categorical about the fact that, Justice Nagaratna as well as Justice George Mashi are both giving differing judgments, but concurring judgments saying that Muslim women will be entitled to maintenance and alimony, but they have to follow the Criminal Procedure Code, the Code of Procedural Code, Section 125, to get the benefit.
Sunil, if you can also detail what will be the political and social ramifications of the verdict.
Well, this is something that has a huge ramification. If you remember the Shah Bano case, they had given a ruling in that regard. Rajiv Gandhi at that time in 1985 tried to, do a U-turn to the Supreme Court judgment. This has, for Muslim women who have been facing, various talaqs and various divorce proceedings, now they will be entitled to that benefit of getting, alimony from their husband, but that will have to be followed through the Criminal Procedure Code. So that's the only new thing. They will be entitled to that benefit and they will be able to get maintenance. But there is a procedure to be followed. But definitely a big and an important step for Muslim women and Muslim rights.
Right. Sunil, stay with us. We are also being joined by Khushbu Jain, an advocate in the Supreme Court. Khushbu Jain, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. What do you have to say about the SC's verdict, and isn't it a massive gender justice push?
Absolutely. If you'll see any personal law which were there, women were always at the end, receiving end when it comes to equality. Women were the one crying for the equality, and the justice was not done when it comes to personal law, any personal law for that matter, if you'll see. And the changes have come up since our independence in numerous personal laws. But if you look into this one, this is one step forward from 86 when we were fighting in the Shah Bano case, which was 86. Which we're talking about when we talked about that equality, women should have equality, all religion, women is women, and there should be an equality when it comes to divorce and the kind of condition they go through after divorce, the triple talaq issue which was under consideration. So this is, I think, another step after the triple talaq, that women, irrespective of religion, should be granted maintenance as per the law in India, and it has no difference whether you're Hindu, Muslim or any other religion. So it's absolutely amazing for women, I would say. Let's keep aside the religion into it, but for women, it's a victory.
Rightly said, Khushbu, and even Supreme Court in its verdict has maintained that maintenance is not a matter of charity, but a fundamental right of married women. This right, the court said, transcends religious boundaries, reinforces principle of gender equality and financial security to all the married women.
Absolutely. If you'll see the intention also, if you look into this aspect, it is nothing to do with, as rightly said by you, it's nothing to do with charity or anything. We have seen cases, even in Shah Bano, if you'll see, years of your life you spend in a marriage, taking care of the household, taking care of the kids. and one fine day somebody divorces without any maintenance. So if you look at the fabric, the marriage, when it came into, if you go into sociology, it was that men and women, there are certain duties both for being entitled and both for being given to, so that that vehicle of marriage can work. Now, what happened with time is where, because of the money brings in power, and with that power, it became little lopsided, that women's job in marriage was unrecognized, and hence they were at the receiving end. This brings in that aspect that it was together that they have spent years, and they have gone and they have reached, the family, the husband could reach to that potential where it has reached. Hence, if a divorce comes, she should be entitled to same status, financial status, and it's not a matter of charity or anything, but it's a matter of right.
Khushbu, if I may, can I, request you to detail, Muslim communities have time and again raised objections to giving parity to women in the community. Muslim Law Personnel Board also states that this alimony has been a bigger contention point between marriages. Can you detail what exactly does the Muslim Personal Law Board says?
See, I'll not step over there, but if so much of bringing in the aspect of giving weightage to the Muslim law or giving weightage to any of the personal law, then why not bring in when it comes to criminal aspect as well? Only when it comes to personal law is where the religion comes out and says that this is touching their fabric, or they're playing with the fabric, and there is a reason for all that, and it's hurting their religious sentiments. It doesn't come when it comes to criminal aspect of it, but it comes only when it comes to personal. And personal also, we are not entering into how you get married and things like that, but basics when it comes to somebody whose rights are being taken away, somebody whose fundamental rights are taken away, or humanity that comes in place, equality is been infringed upon, is where we are talking about. We have continued this from ages, and I think religion should not be at the question over here. And if all these people, including the board, is questioning so much when it comes to religion and they should have autonomy over here, I would say let's start implementing the same criminal laws on them, personal criminal laws on them, and I think that's where they will not talk about it. But here, I feel personally that because it's more of taking away the rights of the women and not giving them that much of rights which they are entitled to, is where you're bringing in personal laws and issues of such. And
Right. Khushbu, this has also reignited the debate whether secular laws should be given precedence over distinct personal laws.
Absolutely. I have always been in favor of UCC. That's why I was saying that I'm not restricting myself to one religion, but I'm saying all religion. If you'll see, even when it comes to women's right in property, in Hindu law was brought in that married women have right to their father's property even after marriage. And this was being included by one of the judgments in the Supreme Court, landmark judgment in the Supreme Court, and the changes came in. So if you'll see all personal laws, women have been, when it comes to divorce, when it comes to maintenance, when it comes to share in the property, women have been always not been granted the equal or equality or the respect which ideally they should have been given in these personal laws. And that's where we say that let there be a uniform civil code so that there is a parity, so that there is an equality. And if there is any kind of infringement of those aspects, the laws are clear and we can go to court and get that justice.
Right. Khushbu Jain, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. This has been a big verdict in respect to Muslim women. Now they can use the section 125 of the CRPC to get alimony from their husbands after divorce. Now we will be keeping a close track. Thank you, Sunil and Khushbu, for joining us on NDTV. Now shifting our focus to the Worli hit-and-run case, Mihir Shah, son of Shiv Sena leader Rajesh Shah, and the 24-year-old prime accused in the BMW hit-and-run case was arrested. And now the latest visuals that we are getting to you are the bar where he consumed liquor is being partially destroyed using JCBs. These are the latest visuals from the Juhu bar where the 24-year-old allegedly consumed liquor, after which he drove the car and allegedly hit a woman after she died. Now these are the visuals that we are getting to you. A JCB has been brought in. Action has been taken by the government in the BMW case. Illegally constructed portion of the Mumbai pub is being destroyed, being razed as it was illegally constructed. Now the action has come in after Mihir Shah drank liquor in this pub before running over the woman with his BMW on Tuesday. Now, Mihir Shah, the son of Shinde's Shiv Sena leader, has been arrested, will be produced today in court, and he rammed his speeding BMW into a scooter in Worli on Monday, killing a woman after dragging her for around 2 kilometers. Now, action is being taken against the Juhu pub where he consumed liquor. The JCB has been brought in. The heat has come after the illegal construction was found. Now, my colleague Radhika Ramaswamy is also joining us on the broadcast and giving us more details. Radhika, what documents do the BMC have? Why is the action being taken? Illegal construction is what we are being told.
That's right. See, this bar was sealed post this entire incident. In fact, Mihir Shah had allegedly consumed alcohol in this particular pub hours before the accident. Therefore, Excise Department had taken this action yesterday. In fact, the Excise Department had sealed this place yesterday on 3 grounds. One, for serving liquor without any valid license. Then serving hard drinks like whiskey to patrons below 25 years of age, which include Mihir Shah as well. Mihir Shah allegedly was given, or rather he bought hard liquor, is the allegation, which is against the law, and also for carrying out illegal construction in the bar, which is why BMC is at the spot at the moment in order to carry out demolition work of these illegal parts that were found by the Excise Department while they carried out the inspection. So yesterday, in fact, a few cops as well as BMC officials were at the spot, were at the Global Tapas Bar in Juhu in order to inspect these illegalities, and post the examination now, the BMC officials are carrying out demolition work there. As you can see in those visuals, there are JCBs being used, and at this point, illegal construction part is being thrown down by the BMC officials.
But Radhika, earlier we had on police sources that the accused has denied being drunk.
That's right. So, questioning of Mihir had been going on since last night. Since the time he was arrested from Virar and brought to Mumbai. Yes, he's not been cooperating with investigations. He's been saying that, yes, he was behind the steering wheel. However, he's denied having consumed alcohol. As of now, he is denied having had alcohol, or he denied that he was in any investigation state. In fact, he maintains that he was not under the influence of alcohol on the night of the accident. However, at this point, it is going to be difficult also to prove whether he was drunk or not, since considerable time passed this incident. However, he also says that he was behind the steering wheel, that he was scared, he was panicking post the accident, and he went to call his father, friends, and other family members.
Radhika, if you can also, take us through the details of on what grounds the bar, if I'm not wrong, the bar is also being sealed. Then on what grounds is the action being taken?
Yes, as I mentioned before, the bar was sealed yesterday itself. In fact, it was sealed on multiple grounds. One, for serving liquor without valid license, giving patrons below 25 years of age hard liquor, which is against the law, and for carrying out illegal construction in the bar. So these are the reasons why this place was sealed and license also revoked. But now BMC has taken over. This information was passed on to the BMC about illegal construction. So this illegal portion is being demolished by the BMC. As you can see, there are JCBs, bulldozers being used to tear down the structure.
Radhika, the accused will be produced today in court. Do we know the timings?
It will be mostly post 2 o'clock because, remand report has to be, prepared by the police. The arrest itself happened late last evening, and therefore remand report has to be prepared, which may take some time. And police also trying to gather as much evidence so that they can seek maximum police custody of the accused. So therefore, it will be post 2 o'clock that Mihir Shah will be produced before civil court, where maximum remand will be sought. Evidence will also be produced before the court, will be spoken before the court, especially the CCTV evidence. And the police, of course, will be carrying out medical examination, perhaps that's already over, of the accused in order to understand whether he was under the influence of alcohol. But considering 3 days have passed since the accident, it will be difficult to prove whether he was drunk on the day of the accident. But police trying to rely on digital forensic CCTV evidence to establish whether he was behind the wheel. One, of course, there are CCTV evidence available, which the police said before the court, which shows him behind the steering wheel. And as far as his alcohol consumption, alleged alcohol consumption is concerned, probably they may have to rely more on witness accounts and CCTV evidence from the bar to find out whether he was drinking that night.
Right. Radhika, if also you can detail about the visuals that we have on screen right now. Part of the Juhu bar is being partially destroyed using JCBs. This is when the bar was sealed on 3 grounds: for serving liquor without any valid license, then serving hard drinks like whiskey to people below 25 years of age, for carrying out illegal constructions in the bar. As my colleague Radhika Ramaswamy detailed why the action is being taken. But politics has also begun on the matter. The Congress and the UBT are demanding that the accused Mihir Shah, the 24-year-old in the case, should be booked in a murder case. Listen in. We'll come back to Radhika and Anuj.
हिट एंड रन में जो लूपहोल्स आए, ये सरकार ने, शासन ने और सरकार के लोगों ने जानबूझकर ये प्रकरण को दबाने की कोशिश की है। इस प्रकरण को लूज करने की कोशिश की है, आरोपी को बचाने की पूरेपूर कोशिश की है। ये मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि इसकी SIT मार्फत जांच होनी चाहिए। जब वो आरोपी 48 घंटे के बाद, 24 घंटे के बाद में वो अल्कोहल कंज्यूम किया है कि नहीं, ये पता थोड़ी चलेगा। इसीलिए उसको छुपाया गया। पुलिस को पता था कि वो कहाँ है, फिर भी उसको नहीं। उसके 2 बार उसने खुद की टेस्ट करवाई और उसको जब लगा कि अब ये मेरे बॉडी में अल्कोहल नहीं है, तभी वो आके सरेंडर हुआ और पुलिस ने दिखावा किया।
And Anuj continues to continue to join us on the broadcast. Radhika, if I can come to you, you heard Vijay Wadatiwar, the leader of opposition in the Maharashtra Assembly. He's saying that there is an attempt to shield the accused, but we can see that the government is holding a crackdown right now. The bar where the accused allegedly consumed liquor is being destroyed. We'll continue to connect with Radhika. In the meanwhile, if I have Anuj Raite also with me on the broadcast, then I'll go across to Anuj to get this. Anuj, if you can detail us about the politics that is being played. The leader of opposition in the Maharashtra Assembly right now just said that there is an attempt to shield the accused.
Well, yes, you see behind me, I'm standing in the narrow lanes of Koilwada, and I'll just try and show through my camera. The road which you see, where you see some number of people sitting, this is the road this is the stair which will take you to the house of the deceased. And just moments ago, the Yuva Sena's president, that is Aditya Thackeray, MLA from the Shiv Sena UBT, reached here now. He will have a conversation with the family and all of those, and he just adds up to the list of several politicians who've been talking about it. Of course, Aditya Thackeray gave a statement about this entire issue a couple of days ago, and he was one of the first persons to do it. But you see a flurry of statements coming in after yesterday's afternoon or in the evening when the deceased's husband said it quite openly while talking to the NDTV that no one from the authorities, no one from the government has even made an attempt to reach.
Right, Anuj, I'm sorry to interrupt you in between, but my colleague Radhika Ramaswamy has reached the location where the Mumbai pub is being partially razed. Radhika, if you can show us around what is exactly happening.
Yes, I'm going to show you around. I'm at Juhu Vice Tapas Bar, Global Tapas Bar, where the demolition exercise is happening here. As you can see, a bulldozer carrying out this tearing down exercise at the Tapas Bar. In fact, you can see a bunch of police officials as well as BMC officials at the spot carrying out the operation. In fact, one portion of the structure is being completely demolished. It is the side portion of the structure that is allegedly illegal that is being demolished at this point. Of course, Excise Department had sealed this place. In fact, it was yesterday that Excise Department had sealed this place on account of three grounds, three illegalities. One, for serving liquor without any valid license, serving hard drinks like whiskey to people below 25 years of age, and thirdly, for carrying out illegal construction. That was informed to the BMC, and now BMC have swung into action. As you can see, officials here tearing down, pulling down this illegal structure right in front of us. Those are the visuals of partially demolished structure of Global Tapas Bar in Juhu. This is a massive structure, and one entire portion of that is being demolished at this point. So completely tearing down. All this after that tragic accident that took place on Sunday morning. This is the place where Mihir was in fact allegedly consuming alcohol with his friends. He's under 25 years of age, yet he was served alcohol, post which, of course, there were multiple investigations carried out. Officials had visited the premises over the last 2 days and multiple illegalities found. And as you can see in those visuals, this structure being completely erased. One portion, the side portion of this structure completely erased. As you can see, glass pieces, grills coming down, being pulled down from this particular bar where Mihir Shah was allegedly consuming alcohol. He was seen at this place, outside this place at 1:30 a.m. with friends. We have the CCTV of that as well. Hours after which he, in fact, hit the scooter, killing that 45-year-old woman, post which, of course, knee-jerk reaction, of course, by, Excise Department or the BMC or the police. Investigation, inspecting this particular place, post which illegalities found as a result of construction illegality and irregularity. Now this portion is being demolished by the BMC officials here, and those are the visuals that we are getting from outside Global Tapas Bar in Juhu. This is a massive structure, frequented by several of the people in the neighborhood, especially in Mumbai suburbs from Bandra to Juhu, and one portion has been demolished by the BMC officials here as a result of construction irregularity that has been found by the Excise Department, which is passed on to the BMC. BMC officials yesterday visiting the spot, cops also visiting the spot, speaking to several within the management as well. Of course, the structure being demolished, one portion of the structure being demolished, as you can see.
Right, Radhika. And while you were reporting, we also showed our viewers the visuals of Aditya Thackeray reaching and meeting the family members of the victim, the woman who died after the speeding BMW hit the couple on Tuesday. Now, Aditya Thackeray has reached the residence of the victim and is meeting. The politics also in the matter is escalating, with the now leaders making a beeline to visit and show solidarity with the victims, training guns at the Shinde government that there is an attempt to shield the accused, as the accused is son of Shinde Sena faction's leader Rajesh Shah. Now, Mihir Shah was caught after 3 days, and hence there are questions being raised on the probe being done by the Mumbai police. We also have Radhika. Radhika, politics also is escalating in the matter. Right now, Aditya Thackeray from the UBT faction is meeting the victim's family. Radhika, if you can hear me, then politics over the matter is also escalating. UBT factions, Aditya Thackeray, former Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray's son is currently meeting the family of the victim who died after the speeding BMW hit the couple's bike on Tuesday evening.
That's right. Aditya Thackeray, in fact, had been reacting ever since the accident happened. On Sunday, he had visited the police station, assured of action, spoken to media also at that time, urging the police to take action and make those arrests. Yesterday, he met the governor as well, in connection to this incident. Today, he's meeting, in fact, he's just met the family members at Worli, Kolivada. Of course, we did hear, well, politics aside, we did get reactions from the family members as well. The husband, devastated, inconsolable, distraught. We saw the kind of reactions coming in where the husband was completely helpless. He doesn't believe that, the powerful, influential people will be behind bars for too long. It is the poor that will suffer and they will be left helpless the way his wife was left helpless on that road, dragging her and then running her over again. So, we did see very, very emotional reactions coming in from family members of how the accident took place, recounting that horror of that particular night. The husband did recount that horror over and over again before the media, and then wanting justice. Of course, it took 3 days for the police to nab the accused. So several questions being raised about the delay in nabbing the accused. Will that weaken the case? Was it done deliberately? These are the questions being raised, not just by the family members, but by the opposition as well. But let me once again show you the action being taken here. This is, in fact, the demolished structure. The JCB was, in action some time back. The bulldozer in action a while ago, completely demolishing this side structure of Global Tapas Bar. You can see the doors, the wooden grills, the iron grills, all of them being torn down, pulled down. Now, in fact, the JCB, the bulldozer, in fact, is backing up, and perhaps more demolition could take place. All this after, action being taken by the Excise Department, license being cancelled of this particular place as a result of illegalities and irregularities found. You can see glass pieces shattered here, all the iron beams also shattered here, right at the Global Tapas Bar, where Mihir was in fact allegedly drinking hours before the incident.
Radhika, the opposition in the UBT and the Congress are claiming that this action is too late and too little.
Certainly, as far as the opposition reactions are concerned, they have been maintaining that the action is too little, too late. One, the arrest itself being delayed by 3 days, and therefore it will weaken the prosecution case. The fact that, they may not be able to prove if he was drunk or not, considering the blood alcohol level test may not come positive because of the time gap. So that is one. And secondly, the action taken against the pub. This is being taken simply because this pub's name came to limelight after the incident. Perhaps there are more such, eateries and restaurants and pubs which may be, running illegally, which may be serving liquor to patrons without any license, which may be serving liquor to people below 25 years, the hard liquor to patrons below 25 years, and also irregularities in terms of structure that is rampant in the city of Mumbai. But this knee-jerk reaction coming in post the incident, so therefore that there is something that is being maintained by the opposition as well, that this is happening as a result of this incident, and it is too little, too late as far as BMC or police action is concerned.
Right, Radhika, and as we are speaking, Worli hit-and-run accused Mihir Shah is being taken to medical hospital, and after that, he will be produced in court for custody. Can you give us some details of what, proofs and evidence do the Mumbai cops have against Mihir Shah?
Mihir Shah's arrest comes 3 days late, as we've been pointing out. Therefore, it becomes very important for police to gather as much evidence to establish that it was indeed Mihir who was behind the steering wheel on the day of the incident, one, and whether he was drunk Can that be proved considering 3 days have lapsed? So that is what the police have to prove. So therefore, because the blood level may not show it since 3 days have passed, they will have to rely on CCTV evidence of this particular pub, which is why we saw a number of police officials here yesterday talking to members, talking to employees as well as management in order to understand what exactly transpired that day. Is there CCTV evidence to show he was drinking? Is there CCTV evidence to show he was driving, which the police say they have? They say they in fact told the court that there is evidence to show that he was behind the steering wheel. He dragged the woman for 1.5 kilometers and then switched seats, and the driver once again backed up, reversed, and then ran her over again. Police say they have CCTV to prove it. So therefore, one part of it perhaps can be proven. But what about the drinking part? Can that be proved? There will be witness accounts. There will be accounts and statements of people in the pub and friends who were with him. That will be very, very significant to strengthen this case. So yes, police will have to obviously tell the court, or rather convince the court as to why they need maximum custody. At this point, we believe he's not been cooperating with the investigations. He has confessed that he was behind the steering wheel. He said he was panicking, he was scared, which is why he sort of tried to escape, and he called his family and so on. But also maintaining that he was not under the influence of alcohol, which is something that is expected of him to do so, because one would think that this was a strategic move by the accused to lay low for 3 days so that his alcohol level may not come forth, that may not show positive. So that's one strategic move that he may have taken along with his family members, so that it is not proved that he's under the influence of alcohol. So therefore he has denied that he was under the influence of alcohol. Perhaps that will be spoken before the court as well. But as far as prosecution is concerned, they would want maximum custody. Police would want maximum custody of this accused. And in order to do that, they will be, talking about all the evidence they have gathered so far.
Right, and Radhika, our team also spoke to the victim's family. They are saying that capital punishment should be given to the accused, and this eyewash action that is being taken by the Mumbai police is not just enough.
Yes, absolutely. The family members are distraught, no doubt about it. We spoke to them on the day of the incident. I spoke to the husband the day of the accident, also the day after. And then, of course, post the arrest, our team spoke to the family members. Of course, they are distraught. They are inconsolable. They've been speaking about how there is, money influence, political influence being used to sort of cover up this case, and that they are not surprised. They come from a poor family. They are helpless at this point, which is one of the reasons why, post these reactions, we're seeing political leaders, especially from the opposition, queuing up outside their house, sort of giving them assurance. Even, for that matter, even people within the government, leaders within the government have been giving assurances post, the cry and the appeal of the husband and other family members of the victim. Yes, they have been seeking capital punishment. We did hear the daughter. She was explaining how she saw her mom's body in the hospital, her mortal remains, how she was badly injured and smashed. So, these are really distressing details, for a family to go through it, for a husband to see her, see his wife being dragged away for kilometers and him chasing that car, helplessly asking people to help him. I mean, those are obviously very, very, difficult experiences that they had to go through. But let's see whether, justice will be served to this distraught family member.
मिहिर राजेश शाह है जिन्होंने इनकी पत्नी को मर्डर किया, इनके पत्नी का। मैं ये नहीं कहूँगा कि एक्सीडेंट था, ये नहीं कहूँगा कि हिट एंड रन थी, ये मर्डर था। और मुझे लगता है कि सबसे कठोर शिक्षा जो है देश में, वो इस मिहिर राजेश शाह को मिलनी चाहिए, जो बुलडोजर जस्टिस हर जगह ये रेजिम देने की कोशिश करता है। उनके घर पे अभी करके दिखाओ। बीएमसी कार्रवाई कर रही है, टोटल कार्रवाई कर रही है। नहीं, बीएमसी किसी पे भी कार्रवाई कर सकती है, रास्ता जिसने बनाया, सीलिंग जिसने बनाया, लेकिन मिहिर राजेश शाह पे कार्रवाई होगी कि नहीं होगी, ये बीएमसी ने जवाब देना जरूरी है। उनके घर पे पहले बुलडोजर लेके जाओ।
अब तो सीसीटीवी वगैरह आए थे यहाँ पर,
किसने? जी बिल्कुल, उन्होंने न्याय की मांग की है, लेकिन उनके आंखों में अगर आप देखें तो उसी दिन की मेमोरीज दिखती है, गुस्सा दिखता है और दर्द दिखता है। और उस दिन भी मैं मिल चुका हूँ, आज भी, लेकिन देख नहीं पाता। I believe I have said this yesterday also in the assembly. This is not just a hit and run. This is not just an accident. This is a murder. Taking any victim, dragging her in the car for almost 2 kilometers and then reversing the car and dashing her again is an absolute outright murder. And I believe the strongest punishment in this country should be meted out to him. Sorry? See, the action can happen on anyone, but instead of anyone, I would like to see the bulldozer justice coming onto Mihir Shah's house.
So Times Now is continuously reporting on this case, hit and run case, which has turned out to be very fatal for this entire family. Now Mihir Shah, who is the son of Rajesh Shah, a Shinde Sena leader, that particular person was hiding in Thane. What is your take on it? Thane is a stronghold of CM Eknath Shinde.
You know, on day one, we kept our political decency and we said we will not like to politicize this case. But the fact is, if the accused was allowed to run away and hide for 60 hours, now you start thinking whether there was any politics in this, whether there was any political patronage in this. I would want to see absolute action on this. The bulldozer justice that is meted out to people here and there, on slums, on other people, I would want to see that bulldozer justice happening in this case.
So do you think that this is the entire conspiracy in this entire case, that there were attempts to cover this up?
I will still believe that there will be bulldozer justice, and I believe that there will be justice. I hope there will be justice. We are pursuing it. Aslam Sheikh ji, me, Hemangita, all of us are here. We will be pursuing it, and when we form government, we will show what justice is.
आज रस्त्याचा विषय आपण काढला होता की मुंबईचे रस्ते काँक्रिटीकरण करणार होते, पण दोन घोषणा झालेल्या आहे. आज विधान परिषदेमध्ये प्रसाद लाड यांनी जो हा प्रश्न उपस्थित केला की जी कंपनी जिला कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट दिलं होतं तीच कंपनी आता ब्लॅकलिस्टेड झाली.
अच्छा, बॉन्ड नाही मिळाले वाटतं त्यांच्याकडून, इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड. 2 वर्ष शांत बसलेले. पण आता तुम्ही पहा, आमच्या कोळीवाड्याचा पण रस्ता टेंडरिंग झाले, सगळं झालेलं आहे, इकडचा बाहेरचा रस्ता. आम्ही
So that was UBT MLA Aditya Thackeray, who just met the family of the victim and consoled them, and now the UBT is saying that this is not an accident, this is not a hit and run case, but a sheer murder. Now the opposition is also demanding that there should not be a bulldozer justice on the bar, but on the house of Mihir Shah, who is the son of Shiv Sena leader from the Eknath Shinde faction, Rajesh Shah. My colleague Radhika Ramaswamy also is reporting live outside from the Juhu bar, where the bulldozer action is being taken, where Mihir Shah allegedly consumed liquor before driving the BMW, which killed the 45-year-old fisherwoman, after which now this has put the limelight on the government. Now, Radhika, the probe in the matter has put Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde in a very tight spot. Now UBT is calling it the murder of a woman and not a hit and run case, and they are demanding that a bulldozer justice be served to the victim's family by running a bulldozer and demolishing the house of Shiv Sena leader Rajesh Shah.
That's right. You know, we just did hear Aditya Thackeray. He's been, reacting since day one over this incident. Of course, he represents Worli constituency, which is where this incident happened, which is where the case is also being registered. So therefore, he met the family members today saying that this has to be treated as murder and not just culpable homicide, because this was done deliberately, which is true, because considering the facts that have emerged on the second day of the incident, that she was not just dragged on for 1.5 kilometers, but she was once again run over after switching seats, which means it was deliberate attempt. She was left to die on that road. That's the fact. So therefore, yes, opposition demanding, that the strictest punishment be given, this be treated as murder, and that the bulldozer action not just happen in a place like this and a pub, but also on the home of the accused as well. Of course, these are the, reactions and responses politically. But, as far as law taking its course is concerned, 3 days after the incident is when the arrest happened. Today, he will be produced before the court. Medical examination being carried out, very, very crucial in order to understand whether he was under the influence of alcohol, whether he was in an inebriated state that day. Will be hard to prove. Therefore, at this point, they are relying a lot, the police is relying a lot on the digital evidence as well as witness accounts, who were with him that day, his friends, what could they say about his state of mind, about him having allegedly had alcohol, and of course whether he was behind the steering wheel, which is something that the police say they have confirmed by footage. So yes, sometime back we did show you the bulldozer action from outside this particular place, and more action is being initiated inside. At this point, the action is being initiated inside as well. So there's an entire portion being pulled down by the BMC as a result of illegality in this pub. All this coming to fore post the incident. This is a pub where Mihir Shah allegedly consumed alcohol with his friends, left from here hours after this, the accident happened. Post which, of course, the radar was on this particular pub, and then the police, BMC, excise department taking action against them, excise department closing down the pub as they did not have the license, as they served alcohol, hard liquor to patrons below 25 years of age, which is against law, and there were illegal structure and portions in this particular pub, which was informed to the BMC, and BMC now taking action. Now you can see, all the wooden beams, the iron beams, all torn down, the glass pieces shattered, bulldozer action, which we showed just a few minutes ago, was witnessed in this particular illegal pub in Juhu.
Right, Radhika, continue to stay with us. We are just slipping into a very short break, and I hope you also find a very safe spot to report on. But this remains our prime focus, viewers. We will be slipping into a very short break, but coming back, we will give you more details about what is happening in the case.
Director Shankar and actor Kamal Hassan's Indian set the box office on fire in 1996 pan-India. 28 years later, they've teamed up again for a sequel, Indian 2.
Thought of the movie is just a pan-Indian thought. So I'm confident that each and every citizen of our country can associate with this movie.
Is it true it took every day several hours for the prosthetic makeup to be done from Mr. Kamal Hassan?
3 hours to 3.5 hours. Then we can work maximum 5.5 hours only. So he has gone through all these difficulties because he loved the character and the passion for the cinema.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
After a great victory by Indian team, and today we are reporting from Mohali International Airport where we are showing these visuals. Arshdeep हमारे साथ हैं.
The performance सही सारे दी थे बढ़िया results मिले.
We are in the city of Kanpur today because they have their champion back home, Kuldeep Yadav.
Desperation for each and everyone to go there and win the World Cup, and we did it.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Here we are, and ये है, आप सभी जैसे जानते हैं, मेरा पर्सनल फेवरेट सेक्शन जहां पे मैं देता हूं आपके सवालों के जवाब इन दिस सेगमेंट दैट वी कॉल आस्क टीजी. देखते हैं इस एपिसोड में हमको क्या सवाल मिले हैं.
Hi TG, is the Insta360 X4 worth upgrading from the Insta360 X3 camera? Also, do you think there are any other alternatives?
I'll give you my honest takeaway. Insta360 is doing really good in terms of these 360 cameras, action cameras, small cameras and everything. But I would say please don't upgrade to the X4 if you already have an X3, because X3 is really powerful in itself. Or Insta360 X3 बहुत अच्छे options लेके आता है. It's a well-rounded deal altogether. So if in case you already have it, there's no point for you to upgrade to the X4 or any other camera for that matter. आप उसको अभी use कर सकते हैं for at least I would say एक और साल तक before you see any substantial upgrade in this technology. और हो सकता है अगले आने वाले जो मॉडल्स होंगे वो आपको ज़्यादा एक्साइटिंग लगेंगे.
नमस्ते टेक्निकल गुरुजी, मैं ऑनलाइन क्लास में पढ़ती हूँ और मुझसे ज़्यादा टाइम के लिए ईयरफोन्स नहीं पहने जाते. क्या आप मुझे ऐसे ईयरफोन्स या हेडफोन्स सजेस्ट कर सकते हैं जिन्हें हम 3 से 4 घंटे
Now, Mihir Shah, son of Shiv Sena leader Rajesh Shah and the 24-year-old prime accused in the BMW hit-and-run case, was arrested on Tuesday evening, and after 3 days he was arrested. Now, the Mumbai police have taken him for medical examination, and after which he will be shortly produced in the court. Meanwhile, Shiv Sena UBT MLA Aditya Thackeray visited the house of the victim and met the family. After coming out, he said that this is a murder and demanded a fair probe in the matter. Listen.
I believe I have said this yesterday also in the assembly. This is not just a hit and run. This is not just an accident. This is a murder. Taking any victim, dragging her in the car for almost 2 kilometers and then reversing the car and dashing her again is an absolute outright murder. And I believe the strongest punishment in this country should be meted out to him.
Sir, times now is...
Sorry? See, the action can happen on anyone, but instead of anyone, I would like to see the bulldozer justice coming onto Mihir Rajesh Shah's house. We kept our political decency and we said we will not like to politicize this case. But the fact is, if the accused was allowed to run away and hide for 60 hours, now you start thinking whether there was any politics in this, whether there was any political patronage in this. I would want to see absolute action on this. The bulldozer justice that is meted out to people here and there, on slums, on other people, I would want to see that bulldozer justice happening in this case.
So do you think that this is the entire conspiracy in this entire case, that there were attempts to cover this up?
I will still believe that there will be bulldozer justice, and I believe that there will be justice. I hope there will be justice. We are pursuing it. Aslam Sheikh ji, me, Hemangitai, all of us are here. We will be pursuing it, and when we form government, we will show what justice is.
Now, my colleague Radhika Ramaswamy is reporting live from outside the Juhu bar where demolition was taking place. Now the illegal part of the Juhu bar where Mihir Shah, the 24-year-old prime accused, allegedly consumed liquor. Radhika, if you can tell us, will we see a similar crackdown on other pubs as well to, prohibit liquor being served to underage youth like Mihir Shah was served?
Certainly, there is a possibility. There is a 100% possibility that such action will happen in many other pubs, especially in this area, which is what happened in Pune as well. As soon as the pub came to limelight, the action was taken against many of the Pune pubs, including bulldozer action and license being cancelled and so on. So that is something we can expect from the BMC this time as well. When the Kamla Mills fire happened in that particular pub, a lot of action being taken, demolition, and then, cancellation of license, checking or whether there were fire norms that were carried out and so on. Similar action is expected this time as well, but these are all, of course, knee-jerk action and reaction that usually happens when a tragedy strikes. And this time around, of course, it was an accident, but caused as a result of this man allegedly being drunk, and he was given alcohol, or he bought alcohol from this particular pub, is the allegation, despite the fact that he was below 25, but he was served hard liquor, which is against the law, which is why this action has been taken. And of course, the illegal construction also coming to forth. There were portions of this particular place which were illegally constructed, and this is that portion which you can see is completely pulled down by the BMC sometime back. We did show the bulldozer action a while ago, and these are the remnants, the remains of what has been toned down from this place. So yes, similar action can be expected, considering that is how BMC in Mumbai usually work. After a tragedy is when there is action against many of these establishments. But more importantly, of course, opposition raising their voice. The family had been, fighting for justice from day one. But we will have to really wait and see what happens in the court today as the prime accused Mihir Shah gets produced before the magistrate.
Right. Thank you so much, Radhika, for reporting live outside from the Juhu bar where BMC undertook the demolition. Now visited by Shiv Sena UBT MLA Aditya Thackeray, and the arrest of Mihir Shah, who is the son of the Shinde Sena leader Rajesh Shah, after 60 hours has put the Maharashtra government in a very tight spot. Let's see what happens in the court when Mihir Shah will be produced. Now slipping into a very short break, but don't go anywhere. News and updates continue on the other side as well.
Director Shankar and actor Kamal Hassan's Indian set the box office on fire in 1996 pan-India. 28 years later, they've teamed up again for a sequel, Indian 2.
Thought of the movie is just a pan-Indian thought. So I'm confident that each and every citizen of our country can associate with this movie.
Is it true it took every day several hours for the prosthetic makeup to be done from Mr. Kamal Hassan?
3 hours to 3.5 hours. Then we can work maximum 5.5 hours only. So he has gone through all these difficulties because he loved the character and the passion for the cinema.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. 10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Now, last rites are being conducted for Nayak Vinod Singh in Uttarakhand. Remember, he was killed in the Kathua attack where 5 soldiers lost their life in a terror attack. All 5 soldiers that were killed by heavily armed terrorists in Jammu's Kathua district were with Uttarakhand's Garhwal Rifles Regiment. 5 soldiers were killed and 6 were injured on Monday in a deadly terrorist attack. For more details, my colleague Kishore Rawat is also joining us on the phone line. Kishore, a very teary-eyed farewell is being bid to Nayak Vinod Singh in Uttarakhand right now.
बिल्कुल, तो उत्तराखंड के 5 जवान जो शहीद हुए थे कठुआ जो अटैक हुआ था, उनमें इन सबके जो पार्थिव शरीर है वो उनके घरों पे पहुंच चुके हैं, इनके पैतृक आवास पे, और इनका आज ही शाम संस्कार किया जाएगा, जिसमें देहरादून के डोईवाला क्षेत्र में रहने वाले जो उनका भी संस्कार आज ऋषिकेश में किया गया है। इसके अलावा रिखणी खाल के जो शहीद हुए थे उनका भी संस्कार वहीं पर उनके पैतृक गांव में किया जा रहा है। इसके अलावा रुद्रप्रयाग जिले में जो नायक सूबेदार थे उनका भी संस्कार शाम तक कर दिया जाएगा। तो तमाम उनका राजकीय सम्मान के साथ उनका संस्कार किया जा रहा है, और ऐसे में तमाम जो वहाँ का विधायक है या फिर जो तमाम अधिकारी है वो वहाँ पर उनको श्रद्धांजलि देने पहुँच रहे हैं। इसके अलावा सैन्य के सम्मान के साथ उनको अंतिम विदाई दी जा रही है। हालांकि जो तमाम जो उनके परिवारजन हैं, इन सभी पांचों शहीदों के, उनको इस बात का दुख जरूर है कि उनके जो किसी का पिता, किसी का बेटा, किसी का पति चला गया है, लेकिन इन लोगों को इस बात का गर्व भी है कि देश की सुरक्षा करते हुए उन्होंने शहादत दी है। लेकिन फिलहाल पूरे उत्तराखंड में इन शहीदों के लिए दुख भी है कि इन शहीद चले गए, लेकिन फिलहाल अभी इन सभी का अंतिम संस्कार रीति रिवाज और उनके पैतृक गांव में किया जा रहा है।
Right, Kishore, thank you so much for giving us the details. And as you rightly pointed out, the nation will not forget the supreme sacrifice made by the 5 soldiers in Jammu and Kashmir. And Indian Army has already said, and Indian government has also said that the death of these 5 soldiers will be avenged. Now shifting our focus to West Bengal, in a big win for Bengal government in the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court has said that West Bengal government suit regarding probes conducted by central agencies will be valid, agreeing with the Mamata Banerjee-led government that investigations conducted by the Central Bureau of Investigation require prior consent from the state. The Apex Court had on May 8 reserved its verdict on the maintainability of the suit filed by the state. But now, in a big win for Mamata Sarkar, the judgment of the top court has come in its favor. For more details, we also have reactions from Shantanu Hussain. Listen in.
The CBI, which was formed in the year 1963, they were very much able to prove themselves as the most trustworthy political wing of Bharatiya Janata Party. They are specially being utilized in the opposition-ruled states to gain the political benefit of Bharatiya Janata Party. In our state, in the year 2018, in the month of November, the general consent for CBI was withdrawn, it was revoked, and it was notified in the parliament as well. Tamil Nadu, Telangana and 10 other states, they have withdrawn this general consent. Despite withdrawing the general consent, we have seen that CBI was registering several cases and they were doing investigation, against which our state went to the Supreme Court, and by recognizing an appeal, Supreme Court, we welcome this Supreme Court recognition, and it's not only the victory of Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress government, it is a victory of Indian Constitution, it is the victory of the provision of cooperative federalism, parliamentary democracy and individual right of individual state as given in the Indian Constitution.
Slipping into a very short break, more news and updates on the other side.
Director Shankar and actor Kamal Hassan's Indian set the box office on fire in 1996 pan-India. 28 years later, they've teamed up again for a sequel, Indian 2.
Thought of the movie is just a pan-Indian thought. So I'm confident that each and every citizen of our country can associate with this movie.
Is it true it took every day several hours for the prosthetic makeup to be done from Mr. Kamal Hassan?
3 hours to 3.5 hours. Then we can work maximum 5.5 hours only. So he has gone through all these difficulties because he loved the character and the passion for the cinema.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
The biggest democratic exercise in the world. Team NDTV covers.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Key bypolls being held in 13 assembly seats across 7 states as the TMC versus the BJP with a focus on 4 seats in West Bengal, and violence is being reported from the state. In the Mumbai hit-and-run case, authorities have now said that the Juhu pub where the accused drank has been sealed. Partly has been raised as well on account of serving alcohol to an underage adult. We're talking about Mihir Shah, who's 24, and the legal age for drinking is 25. So the accused will now be produced in court. He has been taken in for a medical exam. Opposition demands a murder case be tried against the accused. This is Aditya Thackeray. They're saying this is not an accident, it's murder. And the big Supreme Court ruling as far as alimony for Muslim women is concerned. The Supreme Court has gone ahead and given that note saying Muslim women can seek alimony under secular law. And it is not under law that you can sort of, based on your religion, not be getting that alimony, which is the right of a woman who's divorced. And win as far as the West Bengal government is concerned in the Supreme Court the order in which Mamata Banerjee's government in fact has now been told by the Supreme Court that the case against the centre, the Mamata Banerjee government's case against the centre is valid, and saying that it's the state government versus the CBI over cases in Bengal, and it's the Bengal government that had revoked the general consent for CBI. Hey, good afternoon. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vadva. We have a whole lot lined up for you, including the bypolls that are underway in 13 assembly constituencies across 7 states. We're talking about Bihar, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand, as well as Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. So the bypolls in 7 states that are being held, the first since the Lok Sabha elections, which saw the BJP falling short of a majority and the opposition gaining strength. So we do know it was the BJP that won 240 seats, the India Alliance clinching that deal at 232. But it is, of course, the Congress party that's emerged as its biggest constituent with wins in 99 constituencies. So in West Bengal, the stakes are high for both the Trinamool Congress, which beat all expectations and improved its tally as far as the Lok Sabha polls is concerned to 29 of the state's 42 seats, and that's up from 21 back in 2019. And the BJP, whose figure went down from 18 to 12. So, of course, the electoral exercise, the first since the Lok Sabha elections, will decide the fate of many veterans and some debutants as well. And we're talking about Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu's wife there. And when we talk about the state of West Bengal, we've seen a voter turnout of 24.25%. That was recorded till about 11 o'clock this morning. Yes, we have our reporters joining us. We have Saurabh Gupta joining us. We also have Sam Daniel as well as Gurpreet joining us. Now, over to Saurabh first. Saurabh, when we talk about this contest yet again, where the BJP up against the TMC, a voter turnout of 24.25% is what we've seen till about 11 o'clock. But from what we are hearing is reports are suggesting of some violence that broken out and the complaints of a BJP worker's house that's being vandalized.
Well, there is no violence. So what we heard so far is that there was a scuffle between two groups in Raiganj area, and this is of course over people eating food inside the polling station. Now, obviously, we'll have to check if there has been any other development in terms of the voting going on, but largely, there are 4 polling stations that I beg your pardon. There are 4 assembly constituencies that are seeing votes today. One, of course, is the assembly constituency of Bagda. Then, of course, there is Raiganj in Uttar Dinajpur. Then there is also Maniktola in Kolkata. So obviously there are 4 assembly constituencies that are seeing polling today, and like I said, in one of the polling stations in Raiganj in Uttar Dinajpur, there was a verbal sort of scuffle between 2 groups of TMC and BJP supporters over eating food inside the polling station. Now, Shukanta Mojumdar, the BJP's state president, has alleged that there has been some amount of voter intimidation, is what this, as he describes it, where he says people are standing and not letting people vote freely. But that, of course, is limited to again the allegation he's made in context of Raiganj. But obviously, as the day progresses, we'll have to see what happens. At this point, though, 4 assembly constituencies, Bagda, Raiganj, Ranaghat Dakshin and Maniktala in Kolkata, are seeing polling.
Right, Saurabh, we will keep coming back to you for more on that. Let's just go across to Gurpreet also. Gurpreet, this is being seen as a litmus test when it comes to Bhagwat Mann in Punjab.
Well, yes, of course, this is a high-stake battle which is going on in Punjab, and specifically for Chief Minister of Punjab, Bhagwant Singh Mann, it's a prestige battle, because we have seen Bhagwant Singh Mann has already got a rented house in Jalandhar. He has been camping there for the last so many days, because this is the litmus test for his own government. What we have seen, Aam Aadmi Party has been voting and asking for the votes on the basis of the development which they have made in the state of Punjab. At the same time, it is also a litmus test for the BJP, because BJP has been ruling in the country. At the same time, BJP claims they have got a huge vote share from this Punjab, and specifically from Jalandhar area also. So now this is also high-stake battle for the BJP also. At the same time, because we have seen in all over country, India alliance has been forged between the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party, but in Punjab we have seen that there was a different scenario, and Congress was able to get good seats from all the Lok Sabha seats. So if we can talk about the Congress also, Congress is also trying to test the waters for the next Vidhan Sabha elections in the state of Punjab. So as of now, we have seen all the top leaders of Congress, BJP and Aam Aadmi Party, they have been camping in Jalandhar for getting this high-stake battle, and let's see that how the voters are going to cast their vote. But as of now, it seems that it's the litmus test for the Chief Minister of Punjab, Bhagwant Singh Mann, because he has to prove his mettle and he has to prove his government also. The way he has been claiming, a lot of development work has been done. So let's see that how the voting is going to be happen and which party is going to win this election. But as of now, it's a tough fight for all the political party to prove their mettle in the state of Punjab. Back to studio.
Also, this will decide the fate when it comes to many veterans and some debutants as well. And we're talking about Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu's wife, Kamlesh Thakur.
Well, for Himachal Pradesh, if we can talk about the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, he has been grappling and combating with a lot of things within the Congress also. We have seen a few months back, there was another scenario when independent MLAs, they had supported openly for the Rajya Sabha candidate from the BJP, and even there was a lot of hustle and bustle within the Congress also, and after that Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu was able to combat that situation. Now, these elections is also a litmus test for the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu, and it's a high-stake battle which is going on in Himachal Pradesh. And specifically, if we can talk about the Congress, it's very, very important for the Congress to prove its mettle, because Congress is ruling in the state, and it totally depends on how the Congress is working and functioning in the state of Himachal Pradesh. And if the Congress is not able to win these elections, it will definitely dent not only image of the Congress but also the image of the Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu. So let's see how the voter turnout will be going on, how the people are going to vote, whether they are going to accept the developmental agenda which Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu has been claiming, and whether they are going to cast their vote for the other party. That is yet to be seen. But as of now, it seems that it is also a litmus test for the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh. Back to studio.
Right, so quite a litmus test both for Bhagwat Mann and Sukhwinder Sukhu, and also we've heard clashes broke out between two groups in Uttarakhand's Mangalore. So we also have Sam Daniel joining us. Sam, take us through the challenges that are being faced by the DMK. Of course, the huge tragedy and the deaths caused due to that illicit liquor is going to be quite a challenge when it comes to DMK.
Divya, this particular seat was earlier held by the ruling DMK, so in that sense it's advantage DMK, but the opposition is raking up the Kallakurichi illicit liquor tragedy that took place not far away from this constituency, in which 65 people had died. The PMK, which has fielded C. Anbumani as its candidate under the NDA umbrella, is alleging or has been alleging that the ruling DMK did not really enforce prohibition or did not check illicit liquor there effectively, and there is connivance by enforcement agencies and also alleged complicity by the ruling DMK functionaries. They also are raking up the issue of the 10.5% internal reservation for the one-year community, which was struck down by the court, but they blamed the DMK for not doing enough to protect it. But the ruling DMK is quite confident that it will be able to win these elections. Remember, they swept the Lok Sabha polls very recently, and they count on the DMK government's what they call welfare measures, particularly the monthly 1,000 rupee allowance for women and the free bus rides for women across Tamil Nadu. But it will be interesting to watch whether the voters would look at this as a referendum of sorts on the performance of the ruling DMK. Lastly, the DMK claims that the government had swept into action immediately after the Kallakurichi tragedy. The SP and several police officers were suspended. 21 people, including those who had allegedly sold, those who had transported, and those who had illegally moved methanol have also been put behind bars, and one-man inquiry commission is also inquiring the incident. So they say they have done swiftly, they've intervened swiftly, but we'll have to see whether the election would turn out to be a referendum of sorts.
Thank you so much, Sam, Saurabh and Gurpreet for joining us with all those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more on that. Switching tracks now to Mumbai, and in the latest as far as the BMW hit-and-run case is concerned. Now, sections of the bar in Mumbai's Juhu that served alcohol to Mihir Shah have now been demolished by the city officials. This is 24 hours after the excise department officials sealed the property. The Vice Global Tapas Bar sold alcohol to Mihir Shah, who's 24 years of age, below the legal age of drinking, which is 25. Now, hours ahead of that collision in which that BMW driven car, by which, he rammed into a two-wheeler, killing a 45-year-old woman and injuring her husband. Apart from serving liquor to the underage person, the bar has also, been serving alcohol without having a proper license and for illegal construction as far as the property is concerned, which is why this demolition drive that was seen early this morning. Now, Mihir, who is now, he has been taken for a medical examination, will be produced in court today. Do remember that it was him as well as his mother and two sisters along with a friend who had been absconding over the last 3 days ever since the accident. They were in a resort in Shahpur from where they now have been taken into custody. So the mother and the two sisters are also in custody. We have Shaina NC of the BJP joining us. Shaina, we've always heard the BJP talk about the demolition drive, the bulldozer drive, the bulldozer action that you speak of. From what we're hearing now is, why has there been, we're seeing delay after delay when it comes to this case. What kind of action can we expect when it comes to this 24-year-old boy?
So first, let me please say that Mihir Shah is nothing but a rich, entitled, spoiled brat. There is no matter who the accused is, strict action has been taken. The Mahayuti government is absolutely firm that when it comes to somebody who has, had this kind of a case, and we know that in this case the poor victim lost life only because of his absolute brash negligence, because she was literally dragged for 1.5 kilometers. The fact that there is enough evidence from the bill at the bar in Juhu where he spent 18,000 rupees, which shows that this was under the influence of alcohol. I am glad that our Chief Minister, Eknath Shinde-ji, our Deputy Chief Minister, Devendra Fadnavis, have all emphasized on zero tolerance for injustice and have directed that the police handle this in the most serious manner, because this fatality with which the woman was hit is a precedent in the days to come, that we want justice, stricter implementation of laws, and that the offenders accountable regardless of their wealth or influence.
Shaina, it is a watertight case when you talk about the CCTV footage and the information that has already has come to light. It is Aditya Thackeray who's gone on to say this is not a hit and run, but it's a murder. Considering the fact that, the woman was dragged for 1.5 kilometers, they got off the car to, swap seats between the driver and Mihir Shah, and they ran over the woman all over again. It's the husband who's gone on to say that, had the car stopped, maybe she would have survived that accident. It has led to the death of a life that's been cut short at the age of 45.
Yes, you are absolutely right in your analysis. I think the lives of ordinary citizens are precious to us. The state police has been directed to handle this case with utmost seriousness and ensure justice served. And implementation of stricter laws, harsher penalties in cases of hit and run is the priority of this government. And forget government. This is about just a case as a precedent in the days to come, that there has to be fear of law. If there is an offspring of a bureaucrat or a minister, regardless of the wealth, influence, political connection, there's no kind of immunity when you have taken law into your hands, and this is a rich
speaking of the law being equal for all, something that the husband of the woman who died has been raking up this issue, that why is the law not equal for the poor? Time and again asking as to why is it different for the rich and the powerful, given the fact that the father of the accused was out on bail within 24 hours of his arrest.
So, there were nearly 2 months ago, there was an incident of the Porsche car in Pune, where you had a teenage boy knocking down two IIT professionals. I think that has created outrage. This 24-year-old boy, who is, as I repeat, a brat, who has, torn down a 45-year-old.
Shaina, a request and a demand by the Congress, and also we heard Aditya Thackeray say that this is murder. Will this case be tried as murder?
Course, there's no case of any insulation, and we are in tandem that the arrest was imminent, but the action of ensuring that the guilty is brought to task in the fullest is a watertight case in this particular one, because we have enough CCTV footage to prove the same.
Right. Thank you so much, Shaina NC, for joining us on the broadcast this afternoon. We also have Radhika joining us. Radhika, take us through, it is a medical checkup that's going on. Of course, questions being raised, in order to establish whether the man had consumed alcohol that day or not. We do know he was at that bar, which, visuals on our screen right now of that bar being demolished, portions of it on various grounds. Take us through the grounds on which this bar is being demolished. And also going forward, when can we expect him to be produced in court?
Yes, the bar is being demolished, and we've been showing visuals some time back. There was live action happening here. However, it is the officials have gone to the other side. So in any case, they are taking off the structures. You can see the BMC officials cutting off that particular sheet, the black sheet, because this is an illegal extension, illegal first floor portion that is being demolished at this point. In fact, some time back, there were dramatic visuals of the wooden and the bamboo beams being thrown off this particular place. In fact, they are trying to demolish that entire, platform and that structure on the first floor, because this entire portion is the illegal portion, illegal extension of this particular bar. We earlier showed the bulldozer action as well. Now these are the remnants, of course. There's like wooden beams, wooden doors, entire AC air conditioning unit also.
Radhika, news coming in of the father of the accused, Rajesh, has now been suspended from the Shinde Sena, faction, and he has been suspended from his party post.
All right, so that's the breaking update we are getting at this point. Rajesh Shah being suspended from his party. He was a member, he was a functionary of Eknath Shinde Sena. Now, the breaking update is that he has in fact been suspended. He's been taken off from the party as a result of course, this incident, because he was arrested, he was granted bail. However, as per police, he was aiding and abetting the crime because he wanted to protect his son. There were multiple conversations that happened between Rajesh Shah and Mihir Shah post the accident. In fact, according to police, Rajesh had asked Mihir to, sort of leave the spot, to escape from there. He had asked him, where to sort of go and hide himself, and which is what was done by Mihir and his other family members. Rajesh Shah was arrested just for a day, after which he was granted bail. But the breaking update is that he has in fact been taken off, suspended, or rather he's no more member of Eknath Shinde Sena. So that's the action. Of course, Eknath Shinde Sena had been coming under flak as a result of this. There have been a lot of political reactions, especially from the opposition, over government's role in this, because there had been talks about how government perhaps has been trying to protect the son of Rajesh Shah, which is why perhaps there had been delay in action. But now some sort of action being taken by Eknath Shinde Sena. He's been removed from the party, and now remains to be seen what other action will be taken in the coming days, as Mihir Shah will also be produced before the court today.
Right, Radhika, many questions were being raised as to how did he get bail in a matter of 24 hours when his son continued to be on the run. And while the driver was still in the custody of the police, and the driver was a poor man, it was the father who was asking the driver to actually take the fall for his son. And, they switched sides, and that is when they finally did stop that BMW car, which had that lady on the bonnet for 1.5 kilometers.
That's right. Disturbing details emerging as far as the sequence of events of that day is concerned. The CCTV visuals, in fact, as per the police, show that, the woman was dragged for more than 1 kilometer, and then Mihir switched seats with the driver. Then driver reversed and then ran her over again. They did not stop the vehicle. They did not stop to see, what her condition was. They did not bother to take her to the hospital. They just drove off. So which is why several people, including family members, have been demanding strictest action, and that this shouldn't be a culpable homicide not amounting to murder, but it should be tried as a murder case itself, as there were deliberate attempts to leave from that spot without helping the victim and then escaping for 3 days. So therefore, as far as the case is concerned, there are details emerging of how there was, attempts to destroy evidence, how the Eknath Shinde party sticker was taken off from the car, how the number plate was, put inside the car, and then cars were changed, and then he left the spot, went to another district itself, and then later was spotted at Virar through technical evidence, through phone records, and obviously phone location is when they could trace where.
For the benefit of our viewers, take us through how far was that resort that they went to, called Shahpur, that resort in Shahpur, and how far is Virar safe from where they stay in Mumbai? Right, so of course it is the Shinde Sena that is finally acting on the behest of so many demands that are being made, whether it is the Uddhav Thackeray faction, whether it's the Congress party, all asking for justice, and saying that this is not a hit and run case, calling it a murder. At last the Shinde Sena government has taken action, and after 3 days the party finally takes this action, where they have finally suspended Rajesh Shah of the party. Do remember, it is Rajesh Shah who's the father, who had try to help in the case in terms of his son to get away from there. He did ask the driver to take the fall for his son. The driver is behind bars. Rajesh Shah, who was taken into custody, was in custody only for 24 hours before he managed to get bail in the case. Radhika, for the sake of our viewers, take us through the kind of distance there is from, say, the residence where Rajesh Shah and his family live to that place in Shahpur where they went, and then from there to Virar. How long, what is the kind of distance, and how did they manage to dodge the police through it all?
As far as the distance is concerned, I'll just explain the sequence of events post the accident. Post the accident, the driver was, in fact, the car was abandoned in Bandra East by Mihir Shah, post which Mihir Shah, in fact, called his father multiple times. He was obviously panicking. He did not know what to do, and he was trying to destroy the evidence as well. He did not help the victim. He was panicking along with the driver. Therefore, calling the father asking him to abandon the car in Bandra East, and then asking him to leave for another place. So therefore, after the accident, Mihir Shah went to his female friend's house in Goregaon, and in the meantime, his father tried to tow away the vehicle. His father, along with the driver, tried to tow away the vehicle which was in Bandra East. I believe, the demolition action is going to continue, but I'll just continue with what I was saying and then show you once the action continues. And post which, of course, after Goregaon, he went to Borivali. Mihir Shah went to Borivali, and then with his family members, which is his sisters and mother, left for Shahpur. This is all as per instructions of his father Rajesh Shah, who was immediately arrested while he was trying to tow away the car. And from Shahpur, he went to Virar, and through phone traces, in fact, phone location is when they could trace his location in Shahpur as well as in Virar. In Virar, he was found in a hotel along with his friend where he was caught. Not much of a distance, a couple of hours, of course, from Mumbai to all of these places. Virar is in the suburbs, not too far from Borivali where he was, but he did travel all the way to Shahpur and then come back to Virar from where he was caught. Of course, he will be produced before the court today.
Right, Radhika. So he is undergoing that medical examination, which unfortunately, it's been 3 days before they can actually really establish whether alcohol was in his system or not, given the fact that that is the point that's being raised by the family, saying that they bought that kind of time before he could finally be taken into custody. With that, we're slipping to a short break. Back with a whole lot more on the other side. Stay with us.
Director Shankar and actor Kamal Hassan's Indian set the box office on fire in 1996 pan-India. 28 years later, they've teamed up again for a sequel, Indian 2.
Thought of the movie is just a pan-Indian thought. So I'm confident that each and every citizen of our country can associate with this movie.
Is it true it took every day several hours for the prosthetic makeup to be done for Mr. Kamal Hassan?
3 hours to 3.5 hours. Then we can work maximum 5.5 hours only. So he has gone through all these difficulties because he loved the character and the passion for the cinema.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
कैसे आप टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करते हुए अपने गैजेट्स का पोटेंशियल और एनहांस कर सकते हो. एंड दिस टाइम इट्स अबाउट एआई. इट्स अबाउट गूगल्स लेटेस्ट जेमिनाई, बिकॉज ये अभी इंडिया में आ चुका है एंड यू शुड यूज दैट बिकॉज इट कैन डू अ लॉट. मतलब अगर आपको ईमेल लिखना है एंड यू नीड सम हेल्प कंपोजिंग दैट ईमेल, यहाँ पे जस्ट बाय यूजिंग द हेल्प मी राइट ऑप्शन आप ईमेल्स जेमिनाई से लिखवा सकते हैं. ये आपकी ईमेल्स को समराइज कर सकता है और आपके लिए बहुत सारे अच्छे तरीके से हेल्प कर सकता है ऑल अक्रॉस सिनेरियोज, ऑल थैंक्स टू द पावर ऑफ एआई. तो जेमिनाई अभी इंडिया में अवेलेबल हो चुका है. वेल एज ऑफ नाउ इट्स ओनली फॉर द प्रीमियम गूगल कस्टमर्स या फिर ये गूगल वर्क प्लेसेस में अवेलेबल है, बट आई एम श्योर इट्स कमिंग सून फॉर एवरीवन. और आप सभी जब इसको फोन में यूज करेंगे, you can utilize the full potential of Google's AI to make your life and your phones even smarter.
Get ready for the
Director Shankar and actor Kamal Hassan's Indian set the box office on fire in 1996 pan-India. 28 years later, they've teamed up again for a sequel, Indian 2.
Thought of the movie is just a pan-Indian thought. So I'm confident that each and every citizen of our country can associate with this movie.
Is it true it took every day several hours for the prosthetic makeup to be done for Mr. Kamal Hassan?
3 hours to 3.5 hours. Then we can work maximum 5.5 hours only. So he has gone through all these difficulties because he loved the character and the passion for the cinema.
Director Shankar and actor Kamal Hassan's Indian set the box office on fire in 1996 pan-India. 28 years later, they've teamed up again for a sequel, Indian 2. Joining us now, the master filmmaker, Mr. Shankar himself. Thank you very much for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
The central theme of this film is corruption. Do you think it's still relevant pan-India? And what have you done to make it interesting for audience countrywide?
Yeah, see, after the release of the movie, you know, every year after a movie, when I was thinking about my next film, so when I read the newspapers, the news coming, you know, every day, like somewhere the bribe was asked and someone has to pay the bribe, and some poor people are affected by the bribing and all. So immediately you will get the thought of Senapati. So year after year, when you read the news, I feel like, you know, the Senapati character should come back. But I was waiting to that feeling to convert into a story. So during 2.0, I got the story and I decided to do that. Mainly the thought of the movie is just a pan-Indian thought. So I'm confident that each and every citizen of our country can associate with this movie, and they will watch the movie, you know, fully. It will be very engaging for them, for the family audience, and this is for all generations. And there is something to take away from this movie for every citizen. And after the movie is over, they will start thinking about the thought in the movie. I strongly believe.
Both you and Mr. Kamal Haasan over the years have established yourself into big names in your respective fields. What was it like working with him after 28 years?
Well, it was so nice. He was, after 28 years, he was more experienced, and he is making things easy. Easy means we can work with him so easily. So you see that his stardom and his experience and knowledge, you know, doesn't make us to hesitate to ask something, or, you know, to make him to do different things and all. That is a good thing I observed about him, and he's very updated. So yeah, his acting also very updated. So even after so many years of acting, he is very particular about his acting is very trendy, no, which will appeal to the nowadays audience.
Was it difficult directing him?
No, if you work properly, it's not difficult to direct him. So when I go to Kamal sir, is so knowledgeable. So before I go and pitch a script, I will make sure, no, like, so everything is perfect, and with lot of homework. If you go and approach him, if everything is fine, the very easiest actor to direct.
The Senapati Tata, the old man, he is the central character. Is it true it took every day several hours for the prosthetic makeup to be done for Mr. Kamal Haasan?
Yes, of course, because in the part 1, no, we shot 40 days with the prosthetic makeup, and this part we shot him 70 days with the prosthetic makeup. So every day he is the one to come to the set first, and it will take from 3 hours to 3.5 hours. Then we can work maximum 5.5 hours only, and then it will take 1 hour for him to remove the makeup.
Right.
So he can't eat solid food, so he'll be having some juice, soup and all. Once he finishes the shoot and once he removes the makeup, only he can eat solid food. So he has gone through all these difficulties because he loved the character and the passion for the cinema. So he has gone through this all these prosthetics and all, and made that character, no, like, more memorable and more lively and more dynamic, and can go on and on about it.
You are known to be a director known synonymous with grandeur, magnificence. Would Indian too also be of that kind, with pan-India stars like Siddharth, Anushka, Rahul Preet?
Yeah, as I told you before, more than a pan-India movie, it's a pan-Indian thought. So it's a big story. Like the part 1 was 3 hours 20 minutes, and it was revolving around one state. And this part 2 is spreading all over the country. the story is so big and it needs lot of characters, lot of supporting characters, lot of cameos and all. So all the actors with like Siddharth, Rakul Preet Singh and Gulshan Grover, Piyush Mishra, Zakir Hussain, and here Vivek and Nadu and Manipur from Malayalam industry, Bobby Simha, and the experienced actors, they elevated the scene, to the next level. So you can fully involve, the movie, and you can enjoy that.
You expect a repeat of the box office? What happened in '96?
Yeah, of course.
A blockbuster?
Yeah, of course. See, we did our best, and so many technicians and actors, and we all put our efforts to satisfy the audience. So we strongly believe the audience will, in return, they will show their love by flooding to the theatres.
Mr. A. Rahman had scored music for Indian. One would have thought you would have written him for the sequel as well, but was it a difficult choice to say no to him and to engage Mr. Anirudh?
It's not like that, because the situation is totally different.
Right.
When I finished 2.0 shoot, there were something went wrong in the visual effects for that the huge bird. So we are in a situation to recreate that from the scratch.
Right.
So the VFX companies demanded 1 year of time to complete that bird shots and all. So we have to wait naturally for a period of 1 year.
Right.
So my work is very less. Once in a week they will come with the CG shots, and I have to see whether it is okay or not, what correction has to be made. I'll give my feedback, and I was free. I'll be free for 1 year. Meanwhile, I have finished the script of Indian 2. So, and even Kamal sir liked the script, and we are ready to start the shoot. 2.0 released in November, and we are ready in the January itself. We plan to shoot also. So that time my work is finished, but A.R. Rahman's work is not completed. Just now he started the background score. It's a huge task, because he did very beautifully, and he had put a lot of efforts. I think out of all of my films, for the background score, he had put enormous effort for the movie 2.0. So if I ask for the songs for Indian 2 also, it will be heavy burden for him. I can't ask also. When I'm doing 2.0, that also to be released. Right. So it will be a very difficult task for him. So meanwhile, I'm seeing the growth of Anirudh. All his songs are so good, I'm enjoying that also. So I thought I should work with him, and I should take him for this Indian 2. This is what happened regarding the music composer.
Did you think about roping in Manisha Koirala and the other team members part of Indian?
Yeah, when the story was progressing, so naturally your thought will go back and forth, left and right. Okay, so sometime that characters will be required, and from another angle it is not required. So I gone through the process of bringing that characters again, and finally the logged script didn't require Manisha Koirala and Urmila and all. So that the main CBI officer character is coming. That is Nadu and Manipur, the senior most actor, a brilliant actor. So after 28 years, the CBI officer who was after Senapati in that part 1 is coming back in this part also.
Right. One would think, well, male actors, heroes are able to retain their #1 position even when they cross 70. Actresses don't get that kind of a luck actually. They get, in a sense, discarded. Do you think that's a kind of a bias towards men or against women?
I don't think so, because the times are changing. Now Deepika Padukone has such a big command. So here Nayanthara has a big command. So I don't think so. Like
the industry is not biased against women.
No. See, it's the audience. No, when they like female superstars, no, they will make that a big box office hit, and they will make their stardom grow more and more.
Things are changing?
Yeah, I've told no two examples.
In terms of pay?
Pay also, they are getting big payment.
Equal to men or heroes?
That day is not
far away.
Yeah.
Right. You've directed Mr. Kamal Haasan, Mr. Rajnikant. Would you want to see them together in any of your films sometime?
Yeah, that is the dream of every filmmaker here. And I had an idea actually, initially the 2.0, my idea is Rajni sir and Kamal sir to do together. Kamal sir to do the Pakshirajan role which Akshay Kumar did. But he was busy and so, excuse me. So we went for casting Akshay Kumar in that movie.
What's the difference you see in their styles, Mr. Kamal Haasan and Mr. Rajnikant?
Entirely different but very effective, because he also have his own energy, Rajni sir, and Kamal sir also is having his own energy. They are different energy, but it works.
Right. Tell us about, it was an emotional moment, three of the artists you lost in the making of the film, Mr. Vivek, Mano and Nedumudi.
One more actor also, Asif.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But still you made sure you retained the characters and gave a kind of a new life for them on the film.
No, you can see in the movie. Yeah, they are very important characters. They are there in the movie.
Going away from Indian too, how much of artificial intelligence is being used in films in general, sir? Outside there is a worry that in course of time AI will take over many of our work. How is it in the film industry?
Yeah, it is. We are using that wherever it's necessary. We are not forcing it to for any aspect, music wise and voice wise and visual image wise. But every time some new technology comes, people will say that there is a threat, but still the human imagination and the human creation is always superior. That's what I believe. So it will be a tool, that's all.
That's right. How important is Indian 2 for you as a director?
Every film is important for me, because I'm giving a slice of my life to that each and every movie. So every movie is very, very important.
And what keeps you updated? How do you prepare yourself for every challenge? You've been in the industry for so long.
I'm observing what is happening around me, and I have kids of this generation. And see, when you make a movie, you should keep all the aspects in your mind. When you're writing a story, you should keep everything. So naturally, we'll be evolving, according to the generation changes, like that. In such a way, like you can see the participation of this generation also in this movie.
Right. Is there a kind of a healthy competition? Seasoned, established directors like you, and on the other side you have OTT platforms nurturing young talents now.
Yeah, I like that. See, in Corona period, I've seen a lot of web series and these things. It's mind blowing, and which you cannot. Some of the content we cannot do in the mainstream cinema, and that is one side. But I love feature films like okay, because that euphoria when you go to the theater, sit with the 300 people or 600 people or 1000 people together and enjoy, like that euphoria is amazing. That experience, that I would love to do mostly. Let me see in future, if whether I'll be doing a OTT content or not.
Information coming from the US markets, Indian 2 is doing extremely well in terms of advanced bookings. Are you optimistic of a repeat of the 1996 blockbuster performance? Do you expect that kind of a repeat?
Yeah, of course. See, I told everybody, because the producer Subhashkaran is very passionate. I'm supposed to do this movie with some other producer, so he called me very friendly. He asked, I'm the fan of that movie, Indian, so I want to produce it, please do it for me, he asked me. So seeing his passion and all, we see that he will be producing this. And Kamal sir spend so much of time, because he saw the potentiality in the script, and even if there's no something exciting in a script, even I can't do. Only if I can enjoy as a movie, then only I will shoot. So everybody believed and everybody liked the script, and everybody put their efforts, all the technicians and actors. So definitely, like people will respect the hard work, and they know like what kind of people are involved in the movie, and how they go to a level to see that perfection, the max, and definitely they will reciprocate for that.
When can we expect the trilogy, part 3?
Yeah, almost 80% of the